for American. They have to pressure the basketball. And it starts with Elijah Stevens at 5'10". His ability to be able to pick up the basketball at the point of attack will be key. Mount St. Mary's turns it over 22% of the time they have the ball. Currently 359th out of 364 in the country. For Mount St. Mary's, they have to guard the three-point line. They're currently 51st in three-point defense, and 37% of American shots are behind the arc. They have to make sure that they have a point of emphasis on the closeouts, run them off the line, and do a good job of guarding the three-point line.
Let's check the starting lineup, sponsored by Cintas. Workdays are better when you partner with Cintas. Keep your team protected, prepared, and looking great. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday. For American, 22-12, 13-5 in the Patriot League, and blew out Navy at home to win the league last week. They're under second-year head coach Dwayne Simpkins, a basketball legend for the DMV and a high school coach in the D.C. area. He'll start with Elijah Stevens in the backcourt, just 5'9", the third-team All-Patriot League guard, making his 102nd career start. He's joined by Colin Smalls, who's been shooting well from three-point range recently, and Lincoln Ball, the leading rebounder, a 6'6" guard, averages nearly 6 boards a game. The front court is Greg Jones, Patriot League All-Defensive Selection, sophomore from Virginia, and the Knoxville, Maryland native Matt Rogers, 6'9" grad student, first-team All-Patriot League, 17 points per game. Meanwhile, for Mount St. Mary's, 22-12, 12-8 in the Metro Atlantic Conference, beat Iona in the title game of the weekend under first-year head coach Donnie Lind. Dallas Hobbs had a team high 18 in that Metro Atlantic Championship game. He starts in the backcourt with Xavier Lipscomb, the team leader with 4.5 assists a game, and Javon Irvin. The forwards are leading scorer Dola Adebayo, redshirt junior from Fort Myers, Florida, 13 points a game, and J.D. Cordelia, who averages a team high 7 rebounds and change per game, the Dutch senior at 6'9". Once again for American, the backcourt is Stevens, Smalls, and Ball. Jones and Rogers are the forwards. For Mount St. Mary's, the guards are Hobbs, Lipscomb, and Irvin. Adebayo and Cordelia are in the front court. Time now for the opening tip, sponsored by AutoZone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Our officials for this evening's first game, Larry Scorrato, D.G. Nelson, and Helen Milner. American comes in winners of 4 in a row, and off that 22-point win last Wednesday at home over Navy. 9-2 this year in games decided by 5 or fewer, including 7 straight wins. Mount St. Mary's 7-2 in those tight games. Winners of 4 in a row, despite playing without 2 of their top 5 scorers on the season. Mount St. Mary's in the light blue, American in white. Rogers jumps for the Eagles. Adebayo for the Mountaineers. Adebayo wins the tip, and Mount St. Mary's comes left to right. Lipscomb pulls up. Left wing three goes down. Just 7 seconds into the game. Xavier Lipscomb, a 34% three-point shooter, did not hesitate.
Wasting no time, Nate. Letting it fly off rip. That's what you like to see in big games like this.
American basketball attacking the rim to our left. Leading scorer Matt Rogers, jump step mid-post right, and he banks it home with the right hand to put American on the board. 3-2 Mount St. Mary's after 30 seconds.
And you can't let a guy like Rogers get going. He sees one go in. You could potentially be in for a very long night.
Top of the key, Cordelia gives it off to Lipscomb, who throws it to the left wing to a curling Javon Irvin. Nearly lost the ball. Out to Lipscomb, throws it underneath. Cordelia all alone for the two-hand jam.
That's just a great dime by Lipscomb. Lipscomb does so many good things for this Mount St. Mary's team. We saw his scoring, his passing, his leadership.
Left wing, Ball, wide open three. Missed it off the heel. Weak side, a rebound, batted to Hobbs for Mount St. Mary's. He comes out left to right. Drops it back for Adebayo. Thought about a pull-up three. Swinging around to Irvin, far side left wing. Working against Jones and Americans man-to-man defense. Back to Lipscomb, right slot. Pick and roll Cordelia. Skip pass right quarter Hobbs. He spins in place. He pulls up for three. Missed it to the left. Rebounded on the weak side by Ball for the Eagles. American basketball trailing by 3. Quick transition. Triple from the left corner goes down for Colin Smalls. 5th-year grad student. He spent his entire career at American. Not a great three-point shooter, but he has heated up from deep the last couple of games.
Yeah, shooting 50 from 3 to your point in the last 3.
On the block, Cordelia spins to the baseline. Righty reverse under the rim is good. Mount St. Mary's back on top, 7-5. 18-10 to go first half.
Cordelia known as a defensive guy, showing us that he can get busy on the block right there.
Stevens, bounce pass, left block, extended ball, kick out. Smalls, right wing, three is good. Colin Smalls picks up right where he left off. Back-to-back triples, and the Eagles have a 1-point lead after 2 minutes.
Well, how about the pass to the open shooter out of the post? And you got to find Smalls, because if you don't, he's knocking it down right now. He's confident.
Mount St. Mary's basketball trailing by 1. Right post entry, Adebayo bumped by Ball, throws it up with the left hand. Basket goes down, but they wave it off. Larry Scarrato, the official on the baseline, says no basket. The foul on the floor. 17:40 remaining first half. Pretty frantic start. You'd think this pace probably favors American.
Yeah, 100%. But American is also known to slow the game down at certain times. But the way that they shoot the ball, if you allow them to get open looks in transition, it's not a good thing, but they are 359th in the country in average possession length. So they do like to take their time and be extremely deliberate in the half court.
Lipscomb on the baseline, triggers it into Irvin. Right corner three, missed it short. Hopped off the rim again. That allowed Adebayo to get the weak side offensive rebound and stick it back off the glass to put Mount St. Mary's up 9-8.
And I like this matchup right here, Adebayo versus Rogers. Both of these young men do a tremendous job on the low block. They mean so much to their team. I love the matchup.
Between the rings, it's Stevens. Works to the right side for American. Trailing by 1 with a basketball. Smalls pulls up, left wing three. Missed it short. Rebound bounces in the middle of the paint. Mount St. Mary's grabbed it, but a foul. And Matt Rogers is down. Matt Rogers went down on the near side of the lane. He is grimacing in pain on his chest, talking to his teammates who have surrounded him. He pushes himself back up and is limping it off in his bright pink shoes in the near side left corner down at American's offensive end of the floor. Good to see the first team All-Patriot League selection get right back up.
I think he hit his knee initially on the floor. Oh. Looking at it again. Not even hit it, but an awkward landing when he came down.
And off the inbound, American steps out of bounds. Matt Mayock, the sophomore, just into the game, turns it over in his first couple of seconds on the floor. He stepped on the sideline after catching the inbound pass. It's the first turnover for either team of the game. So Mount St. Mary's basketball with a 9-8 lead on American in the third of our 4 games of the first 4. Xavier and Texas will play tonight. Between the circles, Adebayo works to the left wing on the dribble, hands off to Lipscomb. He's looking to the right side for a curling Hobbs, instead throws it left corner to Irvin. Gets into the baseline, throws it right corner, Hobbs off a pump fake, step back three. He got it. He knew it all the way. The tongue out, the 3 fingers up, staring into the crowd. Dallas Hobbs hit the triple, and it's 12-8 Mount St. Mary's. But behind the play, Matt Rogers is limping again, favoring his right knee. And what a catastrophic loss this would be for American, which has a large contingent of fans who made the trip here to Dayton. And they're watching their 17-point-per-game star limp off to the bench across the way.
And it was the way that he landed on the possession before. It like the knee kind of sort of, it was an awkward landing. It bent back in a weird way. And I think he's feeling the repercussions of that.
Mount St. Mary's puts on some full-court pressure, trying to speed up American a little bit. Here they come in transition. Left corner, triple on the way for the Eagles' Greg Jones. He missed it. And the weak side rebound of Mount St. Mary's. 4-point lead on the ball after 3.5 minutes. Post-entry lob is stolen by Eric Michaels, the true freshman, just into the game for American, having to reach deeper into the bench with the apparent injury to Matt Rogers. Stevens drives left block. Bounce pass to the right block. And he finds Michaels, who backs in, turns to the left hand. Hook shot, no, but it's tipped up and in. Michaels, with 2 blue jerseys right around him, got enough on the basketball to put it up and in.
Well, he's so physically gifted. He imposes his will by using his strength down low to carve out space and get the angle that he wants.
Near side right, Adebayo off a jab step. Rise and fire three is good over Greg Jones. Adebayo had only a little sliver of space, and he stuffed the jumper for a 15-10 lead.
And he's 60 from 3 in the last 4 games. I mean, we're seeing a bunch of confident dudes knocking it down early on, Nate.
Far side of the right wing, it's Matt Mayock. Talking about confidence, you wonder where confidence levels are for these Eagles bench players. Mayock attacks high post, bounce pass left block. Michaels, it's batted away from him and stolen by Hobbs. Mount St. Mary's left to right up 5. Lob toward the rim, bangs off the backboard. Cordelia wasn't ready for it. American on the run. Near side left wing Jones. Goes out to Jeff Sprouse, another youngster in off the bench for American. On the drive by Stevens, he is fouled on the floor, and that takes us into a timeout. 15-14 to play first half. Mount St. Mary's 15, American 10. From the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, this is the men's basketball tournament.
Bubba Wallace here from 2311 Racing. Looking for fast fun? Go for a spin at Chumba Casino. Racing's fast, but Chumba takes it up a notch. Nothing beats the rush of those high-speed spins. Big thrills, daily bonus boost, action-packed games. Chumba's got it all to keep you in the fast lane. Ready to race? Let's Chumba. Hit stop at ChumbaCasino.com and play today.
Available only to players.
What's up, insiders? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the first four. The tournament is here. March Madness is here. The craziness is here. Don't forget, hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more basketball fans here in the chat hanging out with us, cheering on your favorite team. Or if you've got any bets on the game, let us know. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for being here. Good luck to your team.
Few rounds. Clearly, you didn't have the right stats and data to make the right pick. Don't make the same mistake with hiring for your small business. Find top-tier talent in the right place with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/SXM. That's linkedin.com/SXM. Terms and conditions apply.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You make Hefe moves. You don't just raise the bar, you set it. You're the first one in and the last one out. You're the glue that keeps it all together. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
With 15-14 remaining in the first half, Mount St. Mary's leads American 15-10 in the first game of day 2 of the first 4. Let's check each team's tournament resume, sponsored by Monster.com. Monster.com helps you slam dunk the job search and make your next career move. Monster.com provides great coaching and millions of job openings. Get off the bench and go to Monster.com today. Obviously, there's similarities between these two teams. Their net rankings only 10 away from each other. American 226, Mount St. Mary's 236. Both conference champions. Both have won 4 games in a row to get here to Dayton. And they're both from the same part of the country, only separated by about an hour and 15 minutes drive. And they've seen each other a bunch of times. This is their 71st meeting. Really unusual for a first-round tournament game.
It's really good to have some type of familiarity when you're in environments like this. Because typically it doesn't happen much. You know, one thing that, if you're American, one thing you're going to have to figure out is how are you going to be able to bounce back or play right now without your best player, Matt Rogers. Whatever's going on with them, his injury or whatever. How do you respond to that coming out this timeout?
American basketball down 5. Near side in the left corner. A drive by Jones to the baseline. Double team. Throws it out to Mayock. Up top, Sprouse. 3 on the way. It's good. Big 3 by Jeff Sprouse. 35% three-point shooter this year. He pulls American back within 2.
And so far, we talked about in the open, Mount St. Mary's has to run American off the three-point line. Too many clean looks early on up to this point for American from behind the arc.
Near side, right wing, Lipscomb attacks right of the lane, terminates the dribble, bounce pass, kick out, left corner, Patrick Haig 3, missed it short, rebounded by Mason Whitaker, the New Zealand senior, in off the bench for American. So Sprouse with the basketball, American down by 2. Mayock drives on the right baseline, throws it out, swing it up top, Sprouse, pump fake on Adebayo, giving up a lot of height. Throws it back to Mayock, right wing. Thought about a 3. Now he'll drive. Toss. Pulled up. 10-footer for the baseline. Hits the front rim and drops in. On off-balance shot off one leg on the move. First basket for Matt Mayock, and he ties the game for American. 15 all.
Watching film, I'm a huge fan of Mayock. I think he has a lot of game at his size and a lot of potential.
Adebayo, catch and shoot, left wing 3. Too strong, no. Rebound batted in the air and pulled down for Mount St. Mary's by Cordelia. Fresh 20 for the Mountaineers. Cordelia bangs into the paint, and he's fouled by Mason Whitaker. Nick Gatter and King McClure here at our Granger broadcast position in Dayton. For the ones who get it done, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade products for all industries, fast delivery, and free technical support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. If you heard that cheer, it was partially for Grainger, because they are great. It was also, though, for Matt Rogers, who came back out from the American locker room where he had gone to get some attention from the athletic training staff. He is sitting on the bench, but he found the seat smack in the middle of all the coaches. So that's usually a seat that means you're coming back in the game pretty soon.
He knew where to go. He knew exactly where to go as soon as he got back.
Tie game at 15, 13 and a half to play first half. Dallas Hobbs, far side left wing. Shot clock dwindles to 5. Hobbs crosses over, pull up left wing triple. Missed it to the left. Offensive rebound, Cordelia. It's ripped out of his hands, and it's corralled by American. Colin Smalls, who had those 2 early threes, comes out right to left. Right corner, Sprouse, catch and shoot. 3 in transition is good. 8 straight for American to take an 18-15 lead. The Eagles are hitting shots in transition, showing they can play with a little tempo if they have to.
We talked about that 359th in average possession length. But so far in this game, with the way that they're shooting the basketball, look for them to get out and continue doing the same thing.
Cordelia backs down, left block, pivots to the middle of the paint, righty hook, good over Michaels to the top of the restricted area. After 7 minutes, it's American 18, Mount St. Mary's 17.
And that's a matchup I would look to attack. If you're going up against a freshman big, I like that advantage right there. And if they're struggling to get a bucket, that's where you need to go.
Percent of the early going. Both have been called for 2 fouls. Far side right, Stevens weaves into the paint, terminates the dribble at the foul line. Kick out Jones, left wing 3. Missed it too strong, and the strong side rebound pulled in by the outstretched left hand of Trey Wilson, true freshman from Miramar, Florida, who does not play a lot. On the right side, a drive by Orlandis Keys. He kicks it out. Hobbs, left corner 3 is pure. Dallas Hobbs splashes another. He had 4 threes in the Metro Atlantic Championship game, and he restores the Mount St. Mary's lead 20-18 after 8 minutes.
What a high-level pass by Keys. Hits the drift pass, knows where the shooter is, knock it down.
Stevens, top of the arc, step back, thought about a 3, throws it to Jones, near side left. He crosses over left, darts back right, gets to the rim, righty layup, good. We're tied up again. Got a step on Malcolm Dredd in for the first time for Mount St. Mary's. In fact, 3 substitutes, Dredd, Keys, and Wilson out there with 2 starters, Hobbs and Cordelia. Hobbs near side right. Jab step right, he drives left, he gets inside and lays it up and in with a right hand. Dallas Hobbs listed at 6'1", 175 pounds. Both might be generous, but he got all the way to the rim to put Mount St. Mary's back in front by 2.
Known as a shooter, that's what he does, but he can drive. Don't get it twisted. He can get to the rim as well.
Errant pass by Michaels on the near side, looking for Smalls in the corner. It goes over his head and past him out of bounds. Mount St. Mary's will have it on the other side of the timeout, but Matt Rogers went to the scorer's table as though to check in coming out of the break. 11:16 to go in the first half. Mount St. Mary's 22, American 20. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
You know what I love about spring? It's the season of change. And that means it's time for a closet refresh. Enter Kohl's. With the extra 15% off they have going on, I saved on the latest styles for my entire family. Like a cute dress for myself, linen shorts for my husband, and spring jackets for my kids. Just add sunshine and we're set. All thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. 15% offer ends March 23rd. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have you filled out your bracket yet? Have you filled it out and have you joined our group yet? To track all the way through every single live stream that we do here on Toronto Sports Insider for March Madness. Get your brackets in now. They lock Thursday before the first game tips off. So make sure you click that link that is pinned in the chat. And while you're at it and we've got your attention, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. We're trying to grow an awesome community here and hit 100,000 subscribers. Please help us get there. We'll be live every single game of March Madness. See you back in the chat.
Since American last came to the tournament. That's the fact of the game, sponsored by Kohl's. Make this spring a stylish one with on-trend looks for every occasion when you shop at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where families come first. Mount St. Mary's has 2 NCAA tournament wins, both in prior trips here to date, and it's the 5th time they've played here. They are 2-2 all time. Last appearance was 2021. They lost to Texas Southern. Meanwhile, for American, 0-3. Never won an NCAA tournament game. Here comes Mount St. Mary's left to right. Up by 2. Nearly 9 minutes played. Into the paint. Hobbs on the pull-up jumper inside the foul line. Missed it to the right. And the rebound to Stevens for American. He comes out from right to left. Near side of the left wing, a chance to tie or take the lead. Matt Rogers, the star for the Eagles, who left with that apparent right knee injury, is back in. He gets the pass, bangs into the block, turns to the right hand, hook, and gets it to drop. Matt Rogers back out of the court and back out of the score sheet. Ties the game at 22.
You have to do your work early when you're guarding a guy like Rogers, because when you allow him to get that deep, it's automatic money.
Mount St. Mary's basketball, a back and forth game in the early going. Top of the arc, Adebayo working on Rogers. Jab step right on a drive left. He turns and goes back to the basket at the left block. Bounces one on the baseline to Lipscomb. Kick out, left wing, triple on the way. Rattles out for Javon Irvin. Just a 29% three-point shooter on the season. An American comes out right to left. A chance to go back on top. Near side left corner, Wyatt DeSatis. Works on the dribble up toward the top of the arc. Bounce pass, left corner, Rogers. Working against the smaller Irvin. Starts right, steps back, thought about a 3. Throws to Stevens, reposts on Irvin, but the ball goes to the right wing. DeSatis, a lefty 3 from deep, missed it too strong, and the rebound skips out of bounds to Mount St. Mary's. March Madness is coming to a court near you. Experience it live as the nation's best college basketball teams compete for a chance to cut down the nets. Secure your seats today at ncaa.com/NBB tickets.
And that possession, Irvin did a really good job pushing Rogers out. That's why Rogers didn't get anything out of there, because the post position was near the three-point line, and it wasn't the same as the possession before. Good job by Irvin defensively to make the adjustment.
Mount St. Mary's basketball tied at 22, just past the midway point of the first half. Cordelia, right block extended, spins toward the baseline, cut off by Rogers, reposts with a left-hand dribble, spins to the right hand, hook shot, no off the window, gets his own miss, he pivots on the left block, he goes up over Rogers and drops it home. Stick-to-itiveness from Cordelia, and Mount St. Mary's up by 2.
And we know Rogers is a bucket on the offensive side, and he's going to have to get a stop, and it's going to be a tough task guarding Cordelia one-on-one.
American basketball near side left, Stevens. Bounce pass short corner left side, Rogers. Backs in on Cordelia to the middle of the paint. He stumbles and falls, lost the basketball. Maybe the chair got pulled out on him. Here comes Mount St. Mary's left to right. Near side right, Lipscomb. Extra pass, Adebayo, right wing 3. Missed it short. Long rebound tipped by American on the near side and out of bounds off the outstretched right fingertips of Mayotte. 8:59 left first half. Mount St. Mary's 24, American 22. And 20 on the shot clock for the Mountaineers.
And that was a better move right there by Cordelia. Rogers tried to bang down low. You pull the chair to eliminate the feel, because typically when you're on the post and you're trying to back somebody down, your feel down low is what you're looking for. And if you can't feel the defender, you lose everything and you lose your momentum. And you just saw that right there. Good play by Cordelia.
Inbound to Hobbs, who has it poked out of his hands, back out of bounds by Jones. So Mount St. Mary's keeps it, for the shot clock now down to 15. Matt Rogers did just check out, and he walked behind the bench in a conversation with the athletic training staff, but he is making his way back to the front of the bench with a towel and a Powerade bottle, sitting down on the bench. And away from the ball, a foul, the moving screen on Adebayo for Mount St. Mary's. Donnie Lind can't believe it. He thinks that Adebayo was wrapped up by DeSatis. They both went tumbling down, and Adebayo not only gets the foul that turns it over for Mount St. Mary's, but it's his second personal.
Well, I blame Lipscomb on that. He didn't come off the dribble handoff like he wanted the basketball.
And a moving screen to the other end. Nacedas trying to go around a Mayock screen. He bumped into Hobbs, and just seconds later, after 5 ticks of the clock, Mount St. Mary's gets it back.
Well, at least the refs are consistent, Nate. We love consistency. Good or bad, we love consistency from the refs.
The wrong time to set a marginal moving screen, right, is immediately after a moving screen on the other team. 8:40 and counting to play first half. Mount St. Mary's 24, American 22. 16 seeds in the East region playing for the right to face top-seeded Duke in Raleigh on Friday. Far side left wing Lipscomb. He works on Nacedas. He pivots right, he pivots left, he works back to the right, drives down the middle of the paint. In traffic, he goes up and he's fouled. Xavier Lipscomb was surrounded by a couple of Eagles, but he draws the foul and goes to the foul line. Later on, we'll select the smart coaching move of the day, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lipscomb is a 74% shooter on the season, a lefty. 3 bounces, spins it back to himself. Another couple, bends his knees and lets it go. Rims around and drops. You said in the warm-ups, because Lipscomb wears that skin-tight, light blue, long-sleeve undershirt. Not a lot of guys wear that. It's almost an old-school kind of Under Armour thermal gear. And you said he is so wide-shouldered there, it makes him look like a superhero in that fit.
He definitely looks like Superman. A man looks like he's about 2% body fat, and that's being generous.
Second one is on the way. Good. Xavier Lipscomb's going to be getting DMs after this game from people saying, King McClure told me to check in with you on your diet plan. What's your fitness regimen? 8:15 and counting. 4-point Mount St. Mary's lead.
I need whatever he's on.
Far side, right wing, Sprouse. Pull up 3 is good. A second triple of the early going for Jeff Sprouse. And after 12 minutes, American trails by 1. The other way, Mount St. Mary's attacking the rim to our right. Adebayo drives left to the paint against the smaller Jones. Pulls up left mid-post. He's fouled. Plus the bucket goes down from 8 feet out. Adebayo through the contact. Whistle foul. Count the basket. 7:54 to go in the first half. Mount St. Mary's 28, American 25. There's a timeout on the court. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
You can just move through life, or you can find the things that move you. It's your choice. You can choose to get out there. Choose your people. You could choose to go for it. No, like really go for it.
4th down, 28-yard line.
Just choose to do something that moves you. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. Mazda, move and be moved.
The beauty of a tournament cheat sheet is that someone else spent thousands of hours watching film and analyzing stats, so you didn't have to. When it comes to hiring for your small business, LinkedIn does the same thing with candidates. LinkedIn delivers the strongest hiring data and insights to help you identify the right candidates to make the best hiring decisions. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/SXM. That's linkedin.com/SXM. Terms and conditions apply.
I used to lack confidence until I shopped for a used car with Carfax. With Carfax, I was able to
pause for the facts.
I saw all the facts, like millions of cars, reported vehicle histories, and found the best values. Thanks to Carfax, I had the confidence to shop like a pro.
Facts.
A pro car shopper who feels like a winning ping pong champion.
Facts.
A ping pong champ whose legendary story is now a blockbuster movie.
Facts.
Starring me, Little Miss Confident.
Yeah! Facts.
Sorry, you get it. Shop the all-new Carfax.com.
Riley Herbst here from 2311 Racing. Looking for fast fun? Go for a spin at Chumba Casino. Racing's fast, but Chumba takes it up a notch. Nothing beats the rush of those high-speed spins. Big thrills, daily bonus boosts, action-packed games. Chumba's got it all to keep you in the fast lane. Ready to race? Let's Chumba. Pit stop at ChumbaCasino.com and play today.
Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, and Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Jason Horwitz, Nick Baugh, happy to welcome you back to our Straight Talk Wireless Studios in Los Angeles. You need more data so you can stream your jam mix on loop? Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Nick, you called the Patriot League Championship for us here on Westwood One. You saw Matt Rogers in person. Can they sustain this close game if he can't play most of the game?
Probably not. Matt Rogers is a high-usage player. They like to isolate him in the post. But if Mount St. Mary's is going to continue to have a hard time containing the ball and overhelp and leave that three-point line vacant, they maybe can, but certainly Rogers' status is something to watch.
3-point lead for Mount St. Mary's. Back to Nate Gatter and King McClure.
Thank you, Jason. Mount St. Mary's a 28-25 lead over American with 7:54 to go in the first half. Nate Gatter, King McClure with you here courtside in Dayton. Producer Andy Garcia, engineer Noah Champion. Mike Bloom is our statistician. Mount St. Mary's has Dallas Hobbs, Arlandis Keys, Phil Adebayo, who has 2 fouls, J.D. Cordelia, and Xavier Lipscomb on the floor. Adebayo will be shooting to try to complete a 3-point play. Meanwhile, for American, Stevens and Smalls in that starting backcourt out there along with Lincoln Ball. Jeff Sprouse, the only bench player out there. Matt Rogers is back in. He's on the low block, getting ready to block out Cordelia. Adebayo, 73% foul shooter, and he gets it to go. So it's a 29-25 Mount St. Mary's lead. Both teams shooting well from 3 early on. Mount St. Mary's 4 of 11, American 5 of 10. From right to left, Elijah Stevens walks it up. He finds Matt Rogers in the right slot. 4 points early for Rogers. Top of the arc, it's Ball. Bounce pass entry and a dangerous one toward the left block looking for Smalls. It's tipped away from him, but he tracks it down to the left corner. Zigzags across the paint. Kick out Sprouse. Deep 3. Rattles out. Offensive rebound Rogers. Kick out up to Sprouse. Extra pass. Right wing Stevens. Pump fake and a drive. Pulls up right mid post. Gives it up to the left block for Rogers. Shoveled out left corner, Sprouse, 10 on the timer. Rogers, left wing, catch and shoot. 3 is good. Matt Rogers has 7 first half points, and he's finding his rhythm with a taped up right knee under the sleeve that he wears, going down his right calf. And it's 29-28 Mount St. Mary's with 7:05 left in the first.
Yeah, I don't think Mount St. Mary's understands how to run people off the three-point line. You know what American wants to do.
Lipscomb attacks. He finds Cordelia in the middle of the paint. Rogers helped. He left Cordelia, and he drops it in with a right hand. 3-point lead for the Mountaineers. American basketball, 6:45 to go first half. They have trailed most of the way, but not by a lot. Stevens far side right. Bounce pass out of the arc ball. He attacks left. Gets to the block. Bangs it to Cordelia and kicks it out left corner Sprouse. Finds a curling Smalls left of the circle. Goes to Rogers. Swinging right corner Stevens. Pick and roll with Rogers. 7 to shoot. Stevens works to the elbow. Skip pass looking for a back-cutting ball. It's knocked away and stolen by Cordelia from Mount St. Mary's. Here they come. Left corner. Catch and shoot. Hobbs 3. Good! 11 points in the first half for Dallas Hobbs. He is showing out on the March Madness stage. It's a 6-point Mount St. Mary's lead. 34-28 Mountaineers. 6:10 to go first half. Big possession for American. Sprouse left of the circle. Left-hand bell-tie dribble. Looking for the post-up of Rogers. He catches 15 feet out, short corner left. Drives across the lane. Right block. He pulls up. Right-hand floater. Missed it off the heel. Rebounded by Cordelia for Mount St. Mary's. Far side left. Lipscomb in the front court. Comes to the near side right for Hobbs. Jab step right on a drive left. Backs in. Mid-post right on Stevens. Jump stop at the foul line. Throws it back out to Adebayo near center court with 12 on the timer. Adebayo dribbles to the right corner. He's in trouble. Ball harassing him. He throws it to Cordelia on the right wing with 6 to shoot. Cordelia drives, spins on Rogers, lays it up and in. It's a 10-point, making an 8-point lead for Mount St. Mary's, and Rogers took a hit to that right knee and went down very awkwardly, and he is in real pain now lying in the lane. Matt Rogers trying to defend. The drive by Cordelia. They had a little coming together at the point of the spin by Cordelia. And Matt Rogers is down again for the 3rd time in this first half. And this time it looks like he's in the most pain of the bunch.
And I couldn't see the angle. But as soon as it happened, he looked at the bench and said something. And it's tough to see from the angle that we were at because we were on the opposite side. But he looks over at the bench and says something.
Man, you hate it for Matt Rogers. First team All-Patriot League guy. 17 points a game. So important to this American team. And they're going to have to bring a couple of guys off the bench to help pick him up and take him off to the side. With arms draped over a couple of teammates, he is putting very little weight on that right knee and limping his way off toward the near side corner. You heard from Nick Baugh coming out of our last break. And the American fans chanting MVP. And it's going to be very, very difficult for American in this game. Facing an 8-point deficit as it is, their largest of the game. But on top of that, potentially getting very little, if anything, from Matt Rogers the rest of the way, going back to the locker room for the second time in the opening 15 minutes. Whitaker is on for him. American has to regroup. Mount St. Mary's on a 7-0 run. Top of the arc, Mayock gives it up to Stevens on the NCAA circle to the March Madness logo at midcourt. Whitaker works on the dribble to the right elbow. Hand off to Sprouse. He has 3 threes already. Stop to the foul line, throws it right corner. Attacked by Jones on the baseline. Kick out Sprouse. Right wing triple is good. 4 3-pointers for Sprouse in the first half. He's keeping American in the game. 36-31 Mount St. Mary's. Inside 5 to go first half. And Adebayo lost the ball. American gets it on the turnover. Near side, left wing Jones. Thought about a 3. Drives, lefty scoop layup is swatted by Cordelia. Snagged by Lipscomb. Here comes Mount St. Mary's. Left wing Hobbs, a 3. Missed it short. Rebounded by Stevens. Eagles right to left. Bounce pass in transition to Sprouse on the right wing. Finds Stevens. Catch and shoot. 3 is good. The trailing Elijah Stevens flashes it. 2-point lead for Mount St. Mary's.
You know, I'll tell you what, Nate. I've been in a lot of games before. And a lot of times when your best player, your team leader goes down with an injury, you get motivated, you get inspired because you want to win the game and you want to play that much harder to do it for your brother.
6-0 run for American since the Rogers injury. Keys, bounce pass entry. Cordelia comes free inside. Great bounce pass. And he lays it up and in with the right hand. 38-34 Mount St. Mary's. 4 to go first half. American has made 8 threes on 14 tries, 57%, double their percentage for the season. Right wing, Sprouse again. Missed it short. Weak side rebound snatched by a skying Adebayo with 2 hands. Hobbs on the dribble, front court between the rings for Mount St. Mary's, attacking the rim to our right. Floats a left wing pass to Keys, who swept through, trying to drive to the right on Sprouse, and he was fouled, ripping the ball past Sprouse, his first personal. Timeout on the court, 3:37 remaining first half. Mount St. Mary's 38, American 34. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes. So it's gentle on your skin.
Case.
Hey Insiders, thanks for hanging out with us. Check out our new website, www.torontosportsinsider.com, and check out the link that is in the description as well as in the chat that shows where all of the live viewers are watching from. Go click that link, put yourself on that map, and find out where everyone else is watching from and see where other fans watched previous streams from as well. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for checking out our awesome new map feature on our website. Big shout out Level Up SEO. Good job on that one. We'll see you back in the chat. Good luck to your team.
Showers. Check the weather for April showers and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I named my boat Sure Don't. Get it? The other day when my friend said, "Hey Larry, you want to head back in? It looks like it might rain." I said, "Sure don't." I guess they didn't get it because they didn't laugh.
Whatever you call your boat, protected by insuring it with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Mount St. Mary's 38, American 34 with 3:37 remaining in the first half here in Dayton. Let's check some of the numbers sponsored by GoodRx. Check GoodRx for simple, smart savings on weight loss medications and other prescriptions at goodrx.com. Well, the two standout numbers are pretty clear. American, 8 of 15 from three-point range. Meanwhile, 4 turnovers for Mount St. Mary's, and just in general, turnovers can be a problem for them if they're given American transition threes.
I mean, we talk about American not having Roberts, but I think American is still in this ball game for 2 reasons. Number one, their ability to knock it down from deep the way that they do. If they can continue to do that, they're in this game. But secondly, let's not forget, this Mount St. Mary's team on the season has more turnovers than they do assists. They're currently 359th in the country when it comes to turnover percentage. They turn the ball over 22% of times. They struggle to take care of the basketball. Only one guy with a positive assist to turnover ratio on their team. So because of how they turn the ball over, they will allow you to stay in this game.
Mount St. Mary's has the basketball up 4. 3.5 minutes and counting to go first half. Near side right wing, Hobbs. He drives up the left block. He dragged his foot, but a foul on Wyatt Nasadis before the travel. And that's the 7th team foul on American, the 2nd on Nasadis. So Hobbs is going to shoot 1 in the bonus. He has 11 points. He's getting behind Cordelia's 14 for Mount St. Mary's. They've combined to score 25 of the Mountaineers' 38. Hobbs at the line for the first time tonight, 79% shooter on the year. Takes a couple of deep breaths, says something out loud, bounces the ball once, lets it fly. Good. Download the brand new Westwood One Sports app and catch every minute of the men's and women's NCAA tournament anytime, anywhere. Don't be left out. Get the Westwood One Sports app today. Dallas Hobbs, conveniently from Dallas, Texas, said he got a DM from Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott congratulating him and Mount St. Mary's on making it to the tournament. Free throw up and short, no good off the left side, and it's rebounded by Jones for American. Out from right to left on the near sideline, it's Smalls. To the right wing to Sadis, deep 3, missed it off the back rim, high arcing rebound, pulled down by a skying Devon Irvin for Mount St. Mary's. The Mount with a 5-point lead, 3:10 to go first half. And with the basketball, Irvin lowers his shoulder and drives right. Gets to the block. Ball fake up and under. He is denied by Mayock. An American comes out right to left. Nasadis over the timeline. Gets a screen. Reverses behind his back. Cuts to the right side of the paint. Throws it out to Mayock straight away. Swing it left wing Jones. He's been cold early. Drives left baseline. Shovels underneath to Michaels. Got his man in the air. And Keys fouls Michaels going up. 2 free throws coming up. Robinhood Gold gets you a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions. The new gold standard is here. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Foul goes on Cordelia. According to the announcement, it looked like Keys, who was up in the air and landed on Michael's back, but Cordelia must have gotten a piece of him. Either way, it's his first. And Michael's at the free throw line, just a 47% foul shooter this year. On the way, no good off the back rim. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes for Michaels, a true freshman who's played good minutes off the bench this year, but as is common with young players at the back end of the rotation, when you get to March, that rotation tightens up a little bit. He's only played 16 combined minutes over the 3 postseason games prior to this one for America.
What's that next man up mentality? And I know he's not used to getting that experience. However, this is your moment. This is your time to prove yourself.
Misses the second, but an offensive rebound for Greg Jones, who works under the rim and lays it up and in. So American gets the 2 points in the end, despite a pair of misses at the line by Michaels. 39-36, Mount St. Mary's, 2.5 remaining. Left corner, Hobbs finds a rolling Cordelia, who elevates and banks it home. 16 points in the first half for J.D. Cordelia. The Dutchman averages 10 a game. Already 16, not even 18 minutes played of our first half. Pass to the right side, deflected by Lipscomb into his own bench. American keeps it with 18 to shoot, trailing 41-36. A high-scoring game. Both these teams average in the neighborhood of 70 points a game. We already have 41 on the board for the Mount, 36 for American, with more than 2 minutes to go in this first half.
We got to combine 13 made threes in this ball game. This is going to end up being a shootout.
Matt Rogers has not returned to the floor for American. He hasn't returned to the Eagles bench for that matter. And a moving screen out high called against Mason Whitaker. The 3rd moving screen we've had in this first half. 2 on American, 1 on Mount St. Mary's.
And as a big, you have to adjust. You see how the referees are calling the game. So therefore, on your screens, you have to be extremely stationary. You can't be moving left or right. And even though it might not really be a moving screen, because how the referees, how tight they're calling the game, you have to be able to adjust as a big, but also as a guard. You cannot leave until your big is stationary and no longer moving.
Of course, Mount St. Mary's knows all about the kind of injury woes American is feeling right now with Matt Rogers and his 17 points a game out. The Mountaineers are missing 2 of their 5 leading scorers and have been for the last several weeks, in the case of at least one of them. Keys between the rings, drives left side, step back, left elbow extended, high arcing shot, no, but a foul on Jones, who got Keys on the arm, and 2 free throws coming up for Arlandis Keys. Later on, we'll select the play of the day, sponsored by Old Spice. Stinking places beyond your pits. Old Spice has you covered with Total Body Deodorant. 24/7 freshness from pits to toes with daily use.
And although that foul, you never want to foul a jump shooter. What I do like about that defensive possession for American is that they actually tried to get up and climb up in Mount St. Mary's and tried to speed them up. Because like we keep alluding to, Mount St. Mary's will give you the basketball. They will turn it over. But American finally did a good job of trying to at least make Mount St. Mary's uncomfortable. Because in this first half, Mount St. Mary's has done whatever they wanted to on the offensive side of things.
Keys a 74% foul shooter, hits the first, second one up, and good. He's been a big part of the response to those injuries. Terrell R. Jr. went out with a ruptured Achilles, suffered late last month against Fairfield. That's 11 points a game and 9.5 points a game, and a 46% three-point shooter. Carmelo Pacheco, one of the best in the country, number 4 in three-point percentage, broke his finger a week and a half ago against Marist. Both of them are out. Mount St. Mary's leads by 7. American basketball. 90 seconds left in the first half, and Smalls took an extra step when he caught a pass on the right wing before he put it on the floor. A travel called against American, and an 8 first-half turnover.
That's the right call. Just one extra step. Typically, shooters run off screens when they come off a down screen or a pin down. They're trying to turn their feet to get squared towards the rim. They take an extra step because they're going full speed, so it's sometimes hard to stop. But good call by the referee.
Mount St. Mary's shooting 59%, including 6 makes in the last 8 tries for the Mountaineers. They can extend this lead to its largest, but Cordelia, looking for a dribble handoff, waited another dribble and carried the basketball. A sloppy turnover to give it right back.
And I'll tell you what, Nate, the referees aren't letting anything go. When it comes to move, I've seen more moving screens, travels, I've seen more tight calls right now in this game than I've seen all season.
American basketball trailing by 7. The Eagles have faced a deficit as large as 8 in this first half. They haven't led since the 12:54 mark of the opening 20. Top of the arc, Stevens throws it back to the left wing. Smalls, rise and fire. Three-pointer, no, off the back rim, and a high flying rebound by the shortest man on the court right now, Dallas Hobbs, on the weak side for Mount St. Mary's. Hobbs works between the rings, terminates the dribble, looks left wing and right, throws it to the near side right to Lipscomb. He working on the taller ball, drives baseline, takes a bump and floats it home with the right hand, but wave off the basket. No good. No shot. The foul is on the floor. Xavier Lipscomb is going to be very disappointed when he realizes.
Now, this is the second time we've seen this tonight. I understand the continuation when you're in the NBA, but the 2 times they've called it on the floor, I don't think that those were continuation plays. I think that they were already in the act of going up. So I think that should have been an and 1 for sure.
That one in particular felt like it was in the act of shooting.
That one for sure. As soon as he felt the contact, he put the ball in the air. That should have been an and 1, no doubt about it.
Lipscomb gets the first free throw. Mount St. Mary's leads by 8. If you're a regular user of the social media platform Reddit, you might have already heard of Xavier Lipscomb because they were having a great time with the fact that he plays for Mount St. Mary's, but his first and last name are 2 other teams that are in the NCAA tournament field. Lipscomb, a 14 seed, and Xavier, we will see later on this evening, although he pronounces it Xavier. They've been saying it Xavier all year, and he said, oh, no, actually it's Xavier. Second free throw up. Good. 9-point lead for Mount St. Mary's, largest of the day. And they can be a little sensitive about that here in Cincinnati. The Xavier Musketeers coming up later against Texas. They don't like to hear Xavier, so we'll see how this crowd in the Cincinnati area in Dayton feels about that. Timeout on the court. Mount St. Mary's takes it. 45.9 seconds to go in the first half, and the Mountaineers lead American 45-36. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible result in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed Sponsored Jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's with limited time savings on the supplies pros need. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on every $1,000 you spend on select major appliances. And don't miss your chance to activate and earn 3 times the points on select DeWalt and Klein tools. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 3/28. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Associate or Lowe's.com for more details on qualifying items.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Fans, you can listen to every minute of the NCAA men's tournament on Alexa. Just ask your device to open Westwood One Sports, and you'll be able to select the game you want to hear, or get access to our March Madness Mix channel, which will take you to the best action at any given moment. That's open Westwood One Sports to listen on Alexa. Mount St. Mary's 45, American 36. 45.9 seconds to go in the first half. Matt Rogers went down 3 different times in this first half. The leading scorer for American with apparent right knee injury. He went to the locker room once and returned. He went to the locker room a second time and has not been back. King, this is going to be an uphill battle for the Eagles without him.
It 100% is, but they have to continue to rely on the three-point shot. I think that's what keeps them in the game, and they shoot it well enough to be able to do it. And right now, they're in the 2-for-1 range if they go quick.
Stevens brings it up for American, handling low, knee-high crossover back and forth, near side left wing. He works in on Lipscomb, and he's fouled with 34.2 seconds to go. Luckily for Mount St. Mary's, they had a couple to give. Lipscomb gets his second, but it's the 5th on Mount St. Mary's. Stevens will trigger on the baseline. Shot clock resets to 20, so American now no longer in that 2-for-1 territory. You don't see a lot of college teams really aggressively chasing. Top of the arc on the dribble. Whitaker off the inbound. Hands off to Carlin Smalls, working from right to left. Throws it left wing to Sprouse, who hands off to Stevens. Near side left, working on Urban. 5 to shoot. Jitterbugs back to the top of the arc. Drives right elbow. Pull up. Jay is good from the foul line. Stevens with a jumper. 7-point deficit for American. Mount St. Mary's with 10 seconds. Hobbs into the front court. He has a dozen in the first half. Hobbs on the midcourt logo with 5. Works to the right slot. Crosses over on Sprouse. 3. Good! Dallas Hobbs put both hands over his head. He untucks his jersey. He stares into the crowd. Dallas Hobbs, ever the showman. In his first March Madness game, he gives Mount St. Mary's its largest lead of the night. 48-38 going into the half with a 3-pointer to beat the buzzer.
What a big-time shot right there. One-on-one, put you on an island, shot clock running down, in and out, crossover, get the separation, bucket.
Halftime score, Mount St. Mary's 48, American 38. When we return, we'll head back to our studios for the halftime report. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ball above all. Am I right, y'all? Any questions?
Professor, NCAA Division I women's basketball is back. Are we ready?
You prepared to get loud? Rep your squad? Get your players hyped up to go all the way to the ship? Oh, you're ready. March Madness. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/WBB tickets.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time for basketball, and right now, Uber Eats has deals on McDonald's, Popeyes, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a hamburger. Get game day deals now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Jason Horowitz, Nick Baugh, happy to have you back with us here in our Straight Talk Wireless studios in Los Angeles. You need more data so you can stream your jam mix on loop? Switch to Straight Talk. Get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. 48-38, Mount St. Mary's, the lead on American. Obviously, the Matt Rogers not playing the rest of the game is certainly a big deal. First team All-Patriot League for American in the last 2 years, Nick. But even with him, the offense for Mount St. Mary's, 100 in the first half.
Incredible. I even thought last night, real quick, these 16 seed play-in teams, I've really been impressed with everybody's level of comfort and confidence. I haven't noticed a lot of nerves offensively with all these teams, which is impressive because Americans made 8 threes in that first half. But yeah, J.D. Cordelia is getting whatever he wants at the rim. And certainly there's a domino effect of the Matt Rogers situation with American. Not only does he provide a post-present scoring, but he is really the only semblance of rim protection and paint defense for American. And certainly Mount St. Mary's is taking advantage of that. American's inability to contain the basketball, whether it's Hobbs or Adebayo in short rolls at the short post area. Everything Mount St. Mary's is doing offensively is clicking on all cylinders right now. Pretty impressive 20 minutes from Mount St. Mary's.
No question. No question. In their first tournament in 4 years, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak against American. Remember, these two schools have met 70 previous times. It's time now for a tournament bracket update sponsored by Green Gobbler. Green Gobbler, the only clogged dissolver you need. It's bleach-free, it's safe for your pipes, and it works. Green Gobbler, let the Gobbler get it. A couple of wins last night. Alabama State on a near buzzer beater got a win, and now they'll take on Auburn tomorrow. North Carolina, a 27-point blowout of San Diego State. They've got till Friday when they will get going against Ole Miss. And then tonight it is the other two last four in, Texas and Xavier. And for Texas, one of a record-setting 14 SEC teams in. They come in, though, with 15 losses, which ties the record for most losses ever by an at-large team. But, again, big schedule. Their coach, Rodney Terry, with Nate Gatter.
Coach, the SEC was such a gauntlet this year, but the committee rewarded that. 14 teams get into the NCAA tournament, including you guys here in Dayton. Were you sweating it out on Selection Sunday, or did you feel good about the likelihood the committee would recognize the difficulty of the league?
Well, you know what? I thought the body of work over the course of the season and into the postseason tournament, I thought guys really stayed the course and really worked the season for that matter and stuff. I know night in and night out was like an NCAA tournament game every night in our league. So, again, you know, historic conference race. You had great coaches, great players, and great venues to play in.
Obviously, Trey Johnson is a huge part of the storyline in every game you guys play, almost 20 points a game this year. What's allowed him to be so successful as a freshman, even with how old college basketball is collectively right now?
Well, I think his teammates. I think they all embraced him, and as well as his work ethic in terms of how hard he works. But those older guys have done a great job, really tutelaging him over the course of the season, whether it be in practices, games, in terms of how to continue to handle himself and, how to deal with the daily, regimen of college basketball.
Obviously, he's gotten comfortable with that over the course of this year. They say there are no freshmen come March, but this is a new first, right? This is new for a bunch of your guys being in the NCAA tournament, especially for a true freshman like Trey. How do you handle that with him if you address it at all?
Well, again, I said that these guys, haven't been in a tournament for numerous times. The tournament's not about the best team that wins. It's the team that brings it for that 40 minutes on that given day, and they've got juice. They're excited about competing. Everybody's had a great year when they're in the tournament. So, it's about the team that's going to come in and put their will on the other team for 40 minutes, and they're excited about the opportunity, and they're living in the moment.
Well, people certainly excited about his scorer, Trey Johnson, who can go for 40 on a given night. But Xavier's got a guy, too, in Ryan Conwell, who went for 38 in a loss to Marquette in the Big East tournament, but near 40. He's got 5 straight 20-point games, but it's not the offense he's necessarily focused on for his team.
I would say just, when we all just, together, whether it's defensively or offensively, just clicking on all cylinders, we kind of just take a lot of pride in defense, and I think our defense, fuels us in transitioning on offense. So when we're playing, defensively at the highest level, I think that's when we're at our best.
Xavier 21-11, Texas 19-15. Nick, what do you think are the keys tonight to this ballgame?
Well, stopping both the guys that you talked about there. Ryan Conwell for Xavier, he's been on a heater shooting the basketball, 38 points in Madison Square Garden against Marquette and lost in the Big East tournament. And then Trey Johnson, he can make tough shots, but you're gonna throw different guys at him if you're Xavier. Dalen Swain, Marcus Foster. Swain, kind of more of a skinny, wiry guy. Foster, a little bit more of a beefy wing, so you'll have 2 different defensive styles. For Xavier, they're over the last 8 games are 7-1, and it's because they found some teeth in their defense. Xavier really, offense comes easy for them. They're top 10 in the country in fast break points. They have a lot of different weapons, and Davion McKnight pushes it in the open floor. Fremantle certainly can run the floor as a big guy. I'll be curious to see what that defense looks like against a talented Texas roster that has been riddled with inconsistency this season.
Which is how you get 2 teams in Dayton.
That's right.
Inconsistency. That's how you get there is 2 of the last 4 teams in the field. That's the last game in Dayton. We still have another half to go with game number 1 tonight. Mount St. Mary's leading American 48-38. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get.
Your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results.
1. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
48-38 Mount St. Mary's, thanks to 61% from the floor, leading American the right to move on and take on Cooper Flag and Duke on Friday in Raleigh. Jason Horowitz, happy to have you back with us here in our Westwood One studios. We'll get you to Dayton coming up for the second half in a little bit. But a reminder, Westwood One, not just your home for the men's and women's basketball tournaments, but we will also have coverage of both the men's NIT and the women's WBIT from Hinkle Fieldhouse in a couple of weeks, right here on many of these same stations, online at westwoodonesports.com, or just like with the men's and women's basketball tournament, you can listen to it on the all-new Westwood One Sports app, which you can download today. It's really great. You should go listen to it. We check the NIT scoreboard, sponsored by Maintain X. Maintain X is the asset and maintenance app that brings your unplanned downtime to zero. Try for free at maintainx.com/MVP. That is maintain and the letter X.com/MVP. Now, Dayton was one of the 1 seeds in the NIT, which means they host. They can't host because there's games in Dayton. So they're playing at Florida Atlantic. Game is tied 33 apiece, 4 minutes to go in the first half. George Mason, 34-17. They're doubling up Samford, 5 minutes to go in the first half. UAB a 1-point lead on St. Joe's. George Mason, UAB both were in their conference tournament championships, but not able to win those and get to the NCAA tournament. We go back to Dayton coming up on the other side. Second half just around the corner. 10-point lead for Mount St. Mary's. From the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, this is the men's basketball tournament.
Every match from the English Premier League is now available on the SiriusXM app.
If you like soccer, you are in the right place.
Every unforgettable moment.
Simply sensational.
Every heartbreaking result.
Just goes from horribly bad to even worse.
Every statement win.
This is the place where dreams come true.
Don't miss a match of the EPL. Listen to the English Premier League on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/EPL.
I could talk forever. Gift of the gab, baby.
This is Mad Dog Sports Radio, featuring the one and only Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Could you imagine if that kind of thing happened today? I'd be screaming for months.
He's loud.
They won championships.
He's passionate.
Ratings, advertising, it's all a cesspool. You're not going to change it.
And he's talking football with you.
That's a football team.
It's Mad Dog Unleashed.
Anybody you ask knows I'm 100% right.
Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel
82.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on the SiriusXM app and talk about all the EPL drama on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Get ready for the 2025 NFL Draft on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
With the first pick, the Tennessee Titans select.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL, starting with the Scouting Combine.
Touchdown! What a throw by Cam Ward!
And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2025 Draft from Green Bay in April. Your home for the 2025 NFL Draft is NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and the SiriusXM app.
At the half in Dayton, Mount St. Mary's leads American 48-38. Nate Gatter, King McClure, our entire crew back with you courtside from UD Arena. King, the biggest story, of course, in the first half was Matt Rogers, American's leading scorer, first team All-Patriot League, 17 points a game, going down on the floor 3 times with a right knee problem. He went back to the locker room twice, and after the second time, he did not return. The Eagles just retook the floor to warm up for the second half. He is not with them and has not reappeared from the locker room.
And, credit to him. After getting hit the first time or landing that awkward way, then getting hit, and he still wanted to go out there and fight for his teammates because he knows what this moment means. He knows how big it is. He knows how hard they work to get here. So credit to him for still wanting to go out there and still compete.
Let's check the halftime stats, sponsored by Barbasol. Barbasol shaving cream delivers a thick lather and close, comfortable shave for half the price of gels. Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol. Both teams have shot the ball really well. Mount St. Mary's 61%, American 56%. American had 8 threes on 47% shooting. Mount St. Mary's 6 threes on 43%. But the issue has been on the interior. Mount St. Mary's has outscored American 22 points to 10 in the paint and made 8 of 9 free throws. American did not make a free throw in the first half. The Eagles took just 2. Eric Michaels missed them both. Mount St. Mary's 48, American 38 is our score at the half. Second half is coming up. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
And that is why many of the greatest feats of fandom require you to be on your feet. Any questions?
Professor, NCAA men's basketball is back. Are we ready?
You prepared to show up, show out, give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. March Madness. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Westwood One presents Great Moments in Tournament History.
March 25th, 2022, St. Peter's was trying to become the first 15th seed to ever advance to an Elite Eight. Having already stunned Kentucky and Murray State, only Purdue stood in the way for the Peacocks. The game was tight throughout, but 11 straight made free throws down the stretch put the tiny Jersey City school on the brink of history.
67-64, 4 seconds left. Ivy speeds up the middle of the floor. Ivy from the logo, lets it go. No good! For the first time in NCAA history, a 15 seed will head to the Elite Eight as St. Peter's has defeated Purdue. They're Peacocks. You gotta let them fly.
St. Peter's incredible run would come to an end 2 days later against North Carolina, but the Peacocks provided us with another great moment in tournament history. I'm Kevin Kugler.
At the half in Dayton, it's a 48-38 lead for Mount St. Mary's over American. A pair of 16 seeds getting together in the East region. The winner advances to face top-seeded Duke on Friday afternoon in Raleigh, North Carolina. Nate Gatter and King McClure back with you from Dayton, where before we get to our second half keys coming up in a moment, Matt Rogers has emerged, the leading scorer for American, from the locker room with his right knee heavily wrapped and walking on crutches to the American bench. So it certainly does not look as though Rogers will return in this game. Time now to connect with our analyst for the second half keys, sponsored by Wago. Trust your game, trust your wiring with Wago electrical connectors. Gear up at wago.com/hoops for your next electrical project. King, let's start with Mount St. Mary's.
Well, for Mount St. Mary's, they have to continue to guard the three-point line. I thought if there was one area where they could have improved and could have done better is guarding the three-point line. Too many uncontested threes from American. And with Rogers out of the ball game, the one way that American can come back in this game and win this get the win is by shooting threes and knocking them down at a high clip like they typically do. For American, it is next man up mentality. You need guys like Smalls, like Stevens, like Jones. You need guys to be able to step up and be able to secure this win and be able to get buckets with the leading scorer out. It's going to take a committee to be able to win this game and pull off this I guess, quote-unquote, upset without your best player now.
It's certainly an upset without Rogers if we had known that going in. And it's sort of odd because we've talked about how American likes to play at a really slow pace. Yeah. But ordinarily, if your leading scorer and primary postman leaves the game, you'd be talking about let's get out and run, play up tempo, neutralize that size advantage.
And you can play at a slow pace as long as you're extremely deliberate with what you're trying to get out of the possession. If you're trying to get a three or run a play for a shooter for a three-point attempt, then yes, you can play slow, but I think you're right. You have to get out. I mean, without no Rogers, Rogers typically is on the block. They're trying to run an isolation for him in the mid-post area. But without Rogers, you can be a little bit more up-tempo and try to push the pace. But that might play into the favor of Mount St. Mary's. However, if it turns into a track meet, Mount St. Mary's will cough the ball up. So we'll see what adjustments are made.
Time now for the start of the second half, sponsored by Indeed.com. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed-sponsored jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit. On the drive, left of the paint, Stevens gets inside and scoops it home with the left hand. American is on the board first in the second half, but Mount St. Mary's leads 48-40, and the Eagles drop back into a zone defense. High post entry, right side out of Bio. He drives and goes up to bank it home over Michaels. 50-40, Mountaineers back up 10.
And I like the adjustment. Go zone, however, one-on-one in the middle of the zone. When Dola catches that basketball, you have to be strong as a defender.
Stevens on the drive again, right of the paint. Bounce pass entry, right block Michaels in the restricted area. Switched his pivot feet, got away with it. Turns to the right hand and hook shots it in.
And I like Michaels. I like the low post position. You allow any big, no matter what level he is, any big to catch it within the charge circle, not a good thing.
High post entry again easily on the right. Elbow to Adebayo. He drives right to the paint. Lost the handle. Thought he was fouled on the arm by Michaels. The officials say no. And Adebayo turns it over for Mount St. Mary's. That's the 7th Mountaineers turnover in the game. One minute played, second half. Mount St. Mary's 50, American 42. Eagles basketball, trailing by 8, attacking the rim to our right against the Mountaineers man-to-man. Smalls goes to Jones on the left wing, off a ball fake. He penetrates in the middle of the paint. He's looking for options, throws it toward the left block to Michaels, who couldn't catch it, fumbles the ball, and it's grabbed by Mount St. Mary's. Hobbs pushes the pass up to Lipscomb. Hobbs in the midcourt logo. He finds a rolling Cordelia through contact, lays it up, no, off the heel of the rim, but he will get 2 free throws.
Those are the little things that we talked to Coach. He said that's where Dallas Hobbs has improved the most. Off the pick and roll, he's known as a scorer. He's always looking for a shot. But right there off the pick and roll, the ability to be able to hit Cordelia on that short roll to put him in a position to get to the free throw line. Dallas Hobbs has improved so much as a playmaker.
Cordelia gets the first free throw. He has 17 points already. We're not even 90 seconds into the second half. Senior out of Tilburg, Netherlands, career high of 22, gets the second free throw. Give him 18. He's only hit 20 points 4 times in his career, 3 of them this year. What a big performance. 8 of 9 for the field. Both free throws go down for the 69% free throw shooter. Mount St. Mary's leads by 10 once again. American with the basketball between the rings, Michaels. Handoff to Jones. He finds ball in the left wing, still in the game, despite picking up his 3rd foul against Cordelia on that last possession. Left block, Michaels backs in, leading with his left shoulder. Fakes baseline, pivots middle. Right hand hook, no, but it's grabbed by ball on the offensive glass. Shot clock did not reset. He dribbles out for the right elbow, fall away jumper off the mark. Rebound loose, but tracked down by Adebayo for the Mount. Mountaineers basketball, 2 minutes played, second half. They lead at 52-42. Bounce pass toward Adebayo. It's too far in front of him and rolls out of bounds. Hobbs was expecting Adebayo to roll. Adebayo sat, and Hobbs missed him with a pass. A second turnover by Mount St. Mary's early on in this second half. Spruce is a new weed and grass killer with 9 simple yet effective ingredients that are safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spruce works differently by dehydrating the weed down to the roots. American top of the arc with a basketball. On left-hand dribble, Stevens. Post entry to Whitaker just into the game. Left block extended. Bangs with his left shoulder into the chest of Cordelia. Terminates and kicks it out. Stevens high left side with 9 to shoot. Pulls up around the screen. 3 ball. Good. Big shot by Elijah Stevens. His second three-pointer. He is 4 of 4 from the field for 10 points. And he brings American within 7.
And he's been a consistent threat on the offensive side. Look for Stevens to be more aggressive moving forward.
High post entry out of Bio against an American 1-3-1. Or did they go back to man-to-man in the middle of the possession? Adebayo spins to the middle of the paint and hooks it home with the right hand.
Adebayo is so tough to guard one-on-one. Every single time they've gone to the zone, they have deliberately tried to get the basketball to Adebayo with that high post and just let him go to work.
Near side right wing Stevens. Been excellent at the offensive end for American. He's had to initiate so much of the offense. He has 3 assists. Also has 10 points without a miss. Crosses over, drives right to the paint. Terminates just beyond the right block. Kick out ball. Wide open, straight on 3. Missed it to the left. Rebounded by Cordelia for Mount St. Mary's. Cordelia's 4th board ties him with Adebayo for the team high to go with his game high 18 points. Xavier Lipscomb gives it up to Irvin between the circles. Devon Irvin drives left, gets inside, takes a bump. Bounce pass to the baseline. Adebayo jump stop in the paint. A wild right-hand shot rattles home. And it's the largest lead tonight for Mount St. Mary's, 56-45 with 16:15 remaining. American trying anything to cut into this deficit. Just getting dominated on the interior. Outscored by 14 in the paint, by 10 at the foul line. 8 to shoot. Left wing ball. Hands off Jones in the corner. 3 ball. Good. Big shot by Greg Jones out of the left corner. He had missed his first 2 from deep. But a good 3-point shooter, and he connects on that one. American takes a timeout after cutting the deficit down to 8. Mount St. Mary's 56, American 48. There's a timeout on the court, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com. 15:53 remaining second half. Mount St. Mary's 56 and American 48. From the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, this is the men's basketball tournament.
Nothing matches the passion, the excitement, the history-making moments of college sports. Nobody takes you inside the greatest campuses and stadiums across the country like Sirius XM College Sports Radio. We bring you closer to college football, basketball, baseball, softball, lacrosse, and so much more. No matter the season, we have something for you. Your home for all things college sports is on Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, and on the Sirius XM app.
Every April, all of the best golfers in the world come together at the game's greatest place. And you can hear all the sounds from the 2025 Masters Tournament on Sirius XM.
Augusta National roars like never before.
When the action begins on the course, we have the birdies, the eagles, and the winning moments.
Scotty Scheffler is the Masters champion.
Hear Masters Radio on Sirius XM starting Monday, April 7th, exclusively on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
College basketball fans, wake up to SEC This Morning.
Alley-oop.
We're the only show talking SEC hoops 5 days a week.
One of the best college basketball leagues ever assembled.
Hosts that know your team inside and out.
The Southeastern Conference is doing unprecedented things.
Plus coaches, players, and experts.
We are in the golden age of basketball in the Southeastern Conference.
Get analysis and insights every morning. Weekdays starting at 8 a.m. Eastern on SEC Radio Channel 374 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, your home for the national championships.
Nothing matches the passion, the excitement, the history-making moments of college sports. Nobody takes you inside the greatest campuses and stadiums across the country like Sirius XM College Sports Radio. We bring you closer to college football, basketball, baseball, softball, lacrosse, and so much more. No matter the season, we have something for you. Your home for all things college sports is on Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, and on the Sirius XM app.
American 48. Mount St. Mary's has the basketball out of the American timeout. The Eagles have 2 timeouts left, 3 for the Mountaineers. The Mount also has the possession arrow. and has not been called for a foul in the early minutes of the second half. American won. Xavier Lipscomb drives right to the paint, gets to the block, terminates the dribble, working against the taller Mayock, looking for options, lobs it out of the right wing, but he was first called for 3 seconds in the paint. Dwayne Simpkins was jumping up and down on the American bench looking for a whistle, and he got it from Larry Scarrato just in time. Donnie Lind, now as we go into a break, is talking to Scarrato saying, I think he might have earned that call on the opposite bench. Timeout on the court. 15:37 remaining second half. Mount St. Mary's 56, American 48. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil designed for today's engines exclusively at your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. And that is why many of the greatest feats of fandom require you to be on your feet. Any questions?
Professor, NCAA men's basketball is back. Are we ready?
You prepared to show up, show out, give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. March Madness. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MBB tickets.
Your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed Sponsored Jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil designed for today's engines exclusively at your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You can listen to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament for free on the Varsity Network app. Listen to every game live or on demand. Download the Varsity Network app now and search NCAA Championships. 15:37 remaining in the game. Mount St. Mary's 56, American 48. And King, we expected something like this might happen, even though American ordinarily likes to play slowly. Dwayne Simpkins has been putting on a full court press without his star player, big man Matt Rogers, in the game, try to speed things up.
When they came out in the second half in the 2-3, that didn't work because Mount St. Mary's got whatever they wanted. So he makes the adjustment out of the last time out to go full court press. I like the adjustment. Speed up this Mount St. Mary's team. Turn this game into a track meet. Playing in the half court has not been good for you. Pressure them, force them to turn the ball over because we know that they've done that multiple times this season. That's like all year.
After 5 first-half turnovers, Mount St. Mary's has 3 in the second half already. Mayock top of the arc for American with the ball down 8, attacking the rim to our right. Mount St. Mary's in a man-to-man. 7 on the timer. Mayock straight away on the March Madness logo off a left-hand size-up dribble. Rise and fire 3 goes around and down over Cordelia. Mayock hits a triple to bring American within 5.
And Mayock has game. These are the times where players just come out here and hoop, and you see what they're made of.
High post Cordelia, skip pass out to the right side, Irvin. He drives to the baseline, tried to go up and had it stripped. He recovers in a double team, knocked away again, and this time stolen. Another Mount St. Mary's turnover. American left to right. Stevens weaves to the foul line. Kick out. Jones, left corner 3. No, off the front rim, and the rebound batted in the air and secured by Cordelia for Mount St. Mary's. 14 and a half minutes to play, second half. Mount St. Mary's up by 5 with the basketball. They've led by as many as 11. American has not led since the opening 7 minutes and change. Near side left wing, it's Irvin. Cordelia wants it on the block. He has a game-high 18 points. A high lob to him, and he's fouled from behind by Michaels on the catch. First foul on Eric Michaels. That's the second foul against American. Mount St. Mary's has not been called for one yet. Almost 6 minutes of foul-free basketball since halftime. Michaels will sit down for American. Mason Whitaker, the senior from Cust, New Zealand, is back on. Hobbs returns for Mount St. Mary's, replacing Javon Irvin. 20 on the timer. The Mountaineers inbound it. Lipscomb threw it in and then came to get it from Cordelia. Throws out high. Orlandis Keys drives to the left elbow. Nearly carried the ball. He steps back. Left wing three. Good! Wow, what a shot by Orlandis Keys.
Ooh. Shot clock running down. Might have got away with a carry right there. But they probably would have called in the first half. Let it go. But a good bucket right there by Keys.
Keys in his last 4 games, counting tonight, 10 of 20 from three-point range. Answer by Sprouse is short off the left wing. Keys had the rebound. It was knocked out of his hands, but a foul. The third on American in the opening 6 1/4 minutes. That's the third against Whitaker. He's only played 9 minutes. Have to carry a heavier load after he played just 18 combined minutes over the 3 games of the Patriot League tournament. But in the absence of Rogers, the 2 of them have already been on the floor for 18 minutes in this game alone. 13:35 left in the second. Mount St. Mary's ball back up 8 after the triple by Keys. Near side left wing Lipscomb. Jab step left on Mayock, who has the high left hand above him. Cordelia yelling for him. The block didn't get it. Up top Hobbs. Entry pass in the middle to the left hand of Adebayo, who drops it home. He has 15 or more points for the 6th time in his last 7 games. Now 16 on the night on 7 of 9 shooting. And Mount St. Mary's leads by double digits again. 61-51 for the Mount. Left slot Stevens on the dribble for American. He finds Jones right side. Drives to the block. Fouled. Layup. No! They wave it off on the floor again. That's consistent with the 2 shots that were waved off to a lot of surprise in the first half. The officials have been consistent, calling marginal ones on the floor.
Well, I mean, at what point do we say that he's in the act of shooting, he's in his motion, versus continuation? I think at least 2 out of the 3 that we've seen tonight should have been and ones.
Stevens having trouble getting it in. Throws it left corner to Paul, who's back in the game with 3 fouls. He works in on the much smaller Hobbs. Kick out Stevens, right corner. Has the size disadvantage on Cordelia. Takes him inside and shuffled his feet before he could kick it out to the left corner. It's a turnover for Stevens, the 10th for American. And Mount St. Mary's will have it back with 12:53 left in regulation and a chance to extend a 10-point lead.
Stevens caught the ball in the corner. Should have shot the first one, but put himself in a really bad predicament, and the refs got that one right. He did travel at the end.
Hobbs, high right side for Mount St. Mary's. Bounce pass, right elbow extended out of Bio. Turns and faces against Ball. Kick out Hobbs, who has not scored yet since halftime. He had 15 in the first 20 minutes. Gives it up to Adebayo, top of the key, 7 to shoot, drives left to the mid-post, turns for the right-hand floater that goes in and out. Rebounded by Michaels for American. Adebayo's been great in the second half. That nearly went down. Stevens pulls up, left slot 3, missed it off the heel. Long rebound, grabbed on the run by Keys, right to left. Sprints past Mayock to the rim, but it's slotted from behind by the length of Mayock. Knocked out of bounds on the baseline. Mount St. Mary's will keep it, but Mayock just saved a couple of points after Keys sprinted right past him. (61-51) Mount St. Mary's, 12:15 to play in regulation. Lipscomb will be the trigger man for the Mountaineers. Malcolm Dredd is into the game. Played only a little in the first half. Near side left corner, Hobbs on a tricky low dribble, working against Smalls. Gives it up to Dredd, top of the arc, dribble handoff Keys. He rolls, Dredd gets it, kick out Lipscomb in the right corner, rise and fire 3, missed it off the back rim. Offensive rebound, Cordelia. Fresh 20 for Mount St. Mary's. Left side Keys, pick and roll Cordelia, catches underneath, kick out Dredd, right slot 3. It's good! The largest lead of the night for Mount St. Mary's. The Mountaineers on top 64-51. They can smell a third NCAA tournament win with 11:40 to go in the second half.
A little inside out action. Off the pick and roll, hit the short roller. See what's open, take your time. Deliver it, money.
8-0 run for Mount St. Mary's. Mid-post left, the catch by Michaels. He backs in, double team lurking, but a foul. Hobbs was trying to creep around from behind, but the foul, I think, will go on Cordelia with the body. And indeed it does, his second. Timeout on the court, 11:26 to play in the game. Mount St. Mary's 64, American 51. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Traveling in basketball? Bad move. Traveling the world? Great move. Wherever the road takes you, Best Western is your place to take a time out and catch your breath. Because every team needs a place to regroup. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Book direct and save at bestwestern.com.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. Looking for fast fun? Go for a spin at Chumba Casino. Racing's fast, but Chumba takes it up a notch. Nothing beats the rush of those high-speed spins. Big thrills, daily bonus boosts, action-packed games. Chumba's got it all to keep you in the fast lane. Ready to race? Let's Chumba. Pit stop at ChumbaCasino.com and play today.
Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, and Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You can just move through life, or you can find the things that move you. It's your choice. You can choose to get out there. Choose your people. You could choose to go for it. No, like really go for it.
Fourth down, 28-yard line.
Just choose to do something that moves you. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. Mazda. Move and be moved.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. A very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
2 free throws and missed them both.
Well, it's in large part due to Dole Adebayo and Cordelia. I mean, the way that they have been dominating the paint, just taking their time, not sped up. They have great touch around the rim. I mean, one-on-one when American went into the zone, Dola was able to pick them apart. On the short roll, they're able to get whatever they want. I mean, the front court of Mount St. Mary's has been absolutely terrific.
American has the basketball, down 13, attacking the rim to our right. 11:20 to go in regulation. A foul away from the basketball. Ball was handling it up high, but there was a foul in the left corner that goes against Javon Urban for Mount St. Mary's. That's his first, and it's the third on the Mountaineers. Both teams have 3 fouls with 11:20 to go, second half. Between the rings, ball for American. Throws it to Sprouse. Left wing. Green. Missed it off the back rim. Rebound on the run to Keys. Whitaker tumbles down behind the play. It's 5-on-4 for the moment. American scoring drought now past 4 minutes. On the right wing, Malcolm Dredd for Mount St. Mary's. Goes back up to the top. Lipscomb on the dribble right corner. Finds Adebayo. Pump fake right wing. Thought about a 3. Drives on Whitaker. Bodies him in. Right hand floater. No good. An air ball over the top. Thought he was fouled. Didn't get the call. American out left to right. Top of the arc ball, drives left, kick out left corner. Jones 3 is partially blocked by Keys and grabbed off a bounce by Lipscomb for Mount St. Mary's. Mountaineers ball, what a stretch pass ahead to Keys. He kicks it out. Lipscomb swinging around, right slot 3 out of Bio, missed it short. Rebounded by Whitaker for American, who lost the ball out of bounds on the baseline, and Mount St. Mary's keeps it. Up by 13, 10:32 to go. Get good at money so you can be a little bad. Invest well at Empower.com. King McClure, we don't have a rooting interest in this game, but it's a little bit of a shame even from a neutral standpoint. That Adebayo 3 didn't go down. That was unbelievable transition ball movement by the Mountaineers.
The ball movement was super high level. And that's one of those plays when you're in a game, you're like, you got to hit that one. You got to pay this play off. But Adebayo missed it, and they got the ball back. But you got to hit that one when you swing, and you make the right play like that.
Mount inbounds the basketball with a fresh 20 on the shot clock. Comes out high, front court left for Irvin. Dribble handoff, he gets it back with Adebayo on the left wing. Goes up to the midcourt circle, Hobbs crosses over left. Pull up, left elbow J, missed it short. Rebound off a pound, secured by Stevens for American. Eagles basketball down 13. Stevens, right of the circle, crosses over, works in mid-post right, floater for the right block, blocked from behind by Irvin. Out comes Mount St. Mary's, bounce pass in transition, Hobbs. Running layup up and in with the right hand, stretching toward the rim to keep it away for the shot blocker, and the Mountaineers lead by 15 for the first time tonight. 17 points for Hobbs, closing in on his career high of 22. Stevens, kick out, left wing, Mercedes three, missed it, and the rebound off a bounce taken by Hobbs. On the run right to left, American scoring drought is past 5 minutes. 9:40 to go in the game, and the Mountaineers are stretching it out. Irvin on the right wing, gives it up, Adebayo, dashes to the rim, big two-hand stop. Dola Adebayo in the second half is dominating. 10 of his 18 points since the break, and Mount St. Mary's takes a 68-51 lead with 9:34 to go in the second half, closing in on their third NCAA tournament win in program history.
Nate, is that Dola or is that Bam Adebayo? The way he's playing tonight, he's looking like he got Bam superpowers.
You know, and Dola Adebayo has been such a great story for Mount St. Mary's. He spent all 4 years of his career in Emmitsburg. His role was quiet the first couple of seasons. It really got bigger last year, and it's exploded this season. Career highs in scoring and rebounding, 13 and 7 per game. He's scored in double figures 9 of his last 10, 15 points or more in 6 of his last 7. He has 6 double-doubles. And he was really honest about how much he had to work on his body, how much he had to work on his speed. He said he was getting pushed around last year. When he got to college, he didn't even know how to defend. He sat in a 2-3 zone the entire time he was in high school. There's been a lot of growth for him, and he's embraced that.
I'll tell you one thing. There's probably a lot of people watching this ball game right now, Nate, who just waiting, just looking, observing, maybe even recruit.
Adebayo does have 1 year of eligibility remaining, a redshirt junior. American basketball down 17, inside 9.5 to go in the game, playing without their star player Matt Rogers, who coincidentally averages 17 a game. Mayock harassed by Lipscomb on the drive and a foul with the body. Lipscomb played great defense for about 15 seconds, but picked up his second foul as Mayock was driving. It's a 12-0 run for Mount St. Mary's, and the scoring drought for American is just shy of 6 minutes. The Eagles have missed their last 7 shots from the field and gone totally cold from three-point range after they started the game so hot. Right corner, Mayock off the inbound, goes to Greg Jones in the right slot. He drives to the right block. Layup is good off the window. Snaps the scoring drought right at 6 minutes and pulls American within 15.
And that's a good drive right there, and they need more of that. Just put your head down and get towards the rim.
Mount St. Mary's basketball, attacking the rim to our left. Cordelia top of the arc, spins, drives right, gets underneath. Lefty layup on the reverse is good. 20 points for J.D. Cordelia. The 5th time in his career, the 4th time this year, he has hit 20.
And right now, the front court of American just cannot guard the front court of Mount St. Mary's. Way too easy.
Mayock, left side for American, down 17 with the ball, 8.5 left. Pump fake on the left wing, he drives right into the chest of Adebayo, who cut him off. He tries again, driving left to the baseline, caught underneath, kick out to a couple of Eagles standing almost shoulder to shoulder in the right corner. It's caught by Jones, who has the ball smacked out of his hands on the near side and out of bounds by Hobbs, who clenches his fist and shouts to his teammates in excitement. Boy, does Dallas Hobbs play with intensity or what?
Definitely does. And you love to see it. I mean, a guy who's worked so hard, a guy who I've had the pleasure of knowing since he was about 6 or 7 years old. So to see this moment for him is extremely incredible.
Inbound Whitaker, kick out ball, left corner 3 to beat the timer. No good, but he's fouled.
And as soon as we hype him up, he just does something very not smart.
Hobbs with the foul, his second on ball, shooting a 3. Be a VIP of the men's Final Four in San Antonio with the NCAA Experience official ticket and hospitality packages. Official NCAA hospitality includes live entertainment, upscale food stations and beverages, appearances by NCAA legends, and much more. To be a VIP of the men's Final Four in San Antonio, visit ncaa.com/VIP. Lincoln Ball, a 50% foul shooter. First one is good. It's his first trip to the line. That was his first point of the game. Grad student, Maryland native in his 4th season at American, 5th of college basketball. Been with Matt Rogers a long time, known each other a long time. Former AAU teammates when they were growing up. Ball's second free throw is good. Mount St. Mary's 70, American 55, 8:17 left in the game, and Ball will have one more free throw coming. To the conversation about Dallas Hobbs, you've known him a long time. Obviously, his reputation around Dallas, his reputation even when he got to Mount St. Mary's, was a guy who wanted to score, didn't necessarily want to pass, didn't necessarily want to defend. How cool is it for you, somebody who's seen him from a young age? Ball puts up the third free throw, no good, rebounded by Cordelia from Mount St. Mary's. To see the development for him as a passer and as a defender.
It's amazing, because I've always known the young man could get buckets, but you're right. Just seeing the growth. Now you have to be willing to accept that change in yourself, because a natural-bred scorer, typically guys like that don't want to do anything else.
Cordelia on the block is fouled by the help side defender Ball. That's his fourth. We'll take a timeout. 7:58 to go in the game. Mount St. Mary's 70, American 55. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ball above all. Am I right, y'all? Any questions?
Professor, NCAA Division I women's basketball is back. Are we ready?
You prepared to get loud? Rep your squad? Get your players hyped up to go all the way to the ship? Oh, you're ready. March Madness. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/WBB tickets.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed Sponsored Jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jason Horowitz, Nick Baugh, back with you in our LA studios. It's time for a tournament update sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats is delivering game day deals from hundreds of your local favorites all week. Order now on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details. 15-point game, less than 8 to go. Nick, how does, if they can, American get back in this game?
Well, Mount St. Mary's ranks 359th in the country in turnover percentage. They've taken care of the ball tonight so far, only 8 turnovers. That's going to get tested here down the stretch, because you imagine American is going to come with some full court pressure in these final 8 minutes.
Going to have to make some threes. Remember, they hit 8 in the first half. We'll see what happens here down the stretch. Back to Nate Gatter and King McClure in Dayton.
Thank you so much, Jason. Looking forward to hearing your voice and Nick's on our Westwood One NCAA tournament coverage for the rest of March and all the way into April when we crown a national champion in San Antonio. 7:58 to go in the second half. Mount St. Mary's on top 70-55 over American, which has played the vast majority of this game without Matt Rogers, its leading scorer at 17 points a game. He had 7 points in 8 first-half minutes, but went down with an apparent right knee injury and is on the bench with that right knee wrapped and elevated. He has not returned to the game since before halftime. Mount St. Mary's with the basketball, attacking the rim to our left against American's man-to-man defense, up 15. Keys on the right wing, bounce pass entry, right block extended. Cordelia gives it up to Adebayo, who goes up with the right hand and jams it right on the head of Greg Jones. What a second half for Dola Adebayo. King McClure is ducking for cover.
Oh, man. Goodness gracious.
Stevens, pull up, left elbow extended. He got it. Those two count the same, but it doesn't feel like it. 72-57, Mount St. Mary's, 7.5 left. 5th career game for Adebayo with 20 points. His career high is 22. Cordelia has 20 as well. He's at the top of the arc, drives right to the block, spins into the middle. Righty hook shot is good off the glass. Cordelia matches his career high of 22 points set against another Patriot League team, Bucknell, back on November the 13th, early on this season. Near side, right wing Smalls. Bounce pass to the baseline. He finds Stevens cutting through the lane. Kicked out, right wing Sprouse three. In and out. And it's rebounded by Keys for Mount St. Mary's with the ball. Up by 17. 6 3/4 to go in regulation. Keys off the right wing. Drives. Kicks out Irvin straight on. He goes to Adebayo left wing and gets it back on the dribble handoff. Irvin drives left. Step back. 10-footer for the baseline. Good. Irvin with a nice bucket. His first points. The only starter who had not scored for Mount St. Mary's. He gets on the board to make it a 19-point Mountaineers advantage. American basketball, far side left wing at Stevens. He steps back straight away, got a switch, and a much taller Cordelia takes a three over the top. It rattles out. Offensive rebound by Michaels, who brings it down, and he's fouled by Lipscomb, who immediately turns and screams at Cordelia, saying, why were we switching that?
And that's what you want to see out of your leader. You're just taking a look at the dunk on the monitor. Oh, man. That's what we call a real body right there. But that's what you want to see, accountability. Even up by 19, Lipscomb still getting on his teammates because he understands that you cannot rest, that you have to be full throttle, and 19 isn't good enough. And they trying to extend the lead because if they can pull this win off, their sights are on something bigger.
Inbound to Smalls, lays it up and in, counted plus the foul. He'll get a chance at a three-point play. Maintain X is the asset maintenance app that brings your unplanned downtime to zero. Try for free at maintainx.com/MVP. That's maintain and the letter X.com/MVP. 6:12 left, second half. Mount St. Mary's 76, American 59. Smalls at the foul line. For the first time in the game, he shoots 81% on the way and good. So that cuts the deficit down to 16 for American, 6:12 left in this game. I hope folks listening along enjoyed as much as I did, that you saw that replay on the monitor and it completely derailed the analysis you were planning on, and you had to stop and acknowledge that rim-rattling Adebayo dunk. Mount St. Mary's with the basketball in transition. Keys pulls up. Left wing three is pure butter. Arlandis Keys hits another from deep, his second in the game, his 11th in his last four. 79-60 Mount St. Mary's. Near side right corner Stevens on a crossover, drives baseline, working on Keys, got away with a hook, kicks it out to Sprouse, left corner triple is good to answer.
That's a big time shot. 5 minutes left. That's a lot of time.
Sprouse has a team high 15 on 5 threes. Adebayo attacks the other end. Kick out Keys, right corner triple. Missed it short. Weak side rebound grabbed by Jones in traffic for American. Strong board. Sprouse on the run left to right. He throws it to the far side corner for Smalls behind him and beyond his outstretched right fingertips. And it's into the American bench across the way, a turnover.
And those are the plays where if you do want to come back in this ball game, you cannot have those careless turnovers. You have to value each possession and try to get as many good shot attempts up as you can. And you don't have time with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this ball game. You do not have time for careless turnovers like that.
Mount St. Mary's 79, American 63, 5:20 to play in regulation. Don't forget, Xavier and Texas will finish us out in the first four tonight. And, of course, tomorrow we'll get underway with a round of 64 on many of these same stations here on Westwood One. Lipscomb throws to the right slot out of Bio. Looking for a back-cutting Keys. His bounce pass is broken up by Sprouse. Snared by Michaels. His outlet pass stolen back by Adebayo for Mount St. Mary's. On the right block, he's bumped as he elevates for a jumper. Michaels called the foul. Adebayo misses short, but he'll have 2 at the free throw line. Nate Gatter and King McClure here at our Granger broadcast position in Dayton. Stay on top of your game with Granger. Get the industrial-grade products right when you need them to help your business move forward when you call 1-800-GRANGER or click Granger.com. Adebayo at the free throw line. He has 20 in the game. He is 1 of 1 at the stripe. 73% shooter on the regular year. He takes a couple of bounces and a third. Spins the ball in his right hand, lets it fly. Good. Mount St. Mary's has been excellent at the free throw line. 11 makes on 12 attempts. 92% as a team. They generally shoot about 73.5%. 7th out of 13 teams in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Second free throw is good. Adebayo matches his career high with 22. So we have now Cordelia and Adebayo, who have at least tied their career highs at 22 apiece. Hobbs' career high is 22 as well. He's still sitting on 17. For Mount St. Mary's, back up by Mayock, who gets the feed from ball off the hardwood and goes up to jam it with two hands. 81-65 makes Mount St. Mary's on top. Mayock has played well in this bigger opportunity without Matt Rogers available for American for much of the game. Far side right wing Adebayo, bounce pass entry, right block. Cordelia backs down, kicks it out Adebayo, throw left wing Hobbs, he drives. Jump pass, Keys right corner, pump fake and a drive on the baseline. Kick out Hobbs, right wing three, missed it to the right. And the weak side rebound snared by Wyatt DeSatis, true freshman for American. Sprouts between the rings on the dribble for the Eagles. Comes to the DeSatis, near side right, and into the corner Mayock. Bounce pass entry on the right block, Michaels. Banging into Cordelia under the basket. Floats it out short corner left ball. Sprouts, left wing three is good. 6 3-pointers for Jeff Sprouts. He has 18 points in the game. Only averages 6 per game on the season.
Now, if you're American, if you can cut this to single digits before the media timeout, you might be in a predicament.
81-68. Mount St. Mary's with the ball up 13. 3:40 and counting to play in regulation. Extra pass, left corner, Adebayo three. Ribs around and out. That was halfway down and circled the iron. American the other way. Mayock right wing finds a cutting ball down the lane. Lays it up and in. Mount St. Mary's wants timeout. The lead is trimmed to 11. American has just a little bit of life with 3:27 to go in the game. Mount St. Mary's 81, American 70. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
O'Reilly.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, don't miss Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. O Rewards members get a $5 reward. Power Torque professional hand tools come with a lifetime guarantee. Visit your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Download the official NCAA March Madness live app, and you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the men's and women's basketball tournament for free. Just look for the headphones icon on any live game, and if you're in the car, it seamlessly integrates with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Get the official NCAA March Madness live app today. 3:27 remains in our second half. The third of 4 games in Dayton at the first 4 to tip off the 2025 NCAA men's basketball tournament. Mount St. Mary's leads American 81-70. Nate Gatter, King McClure, our entire Westwood One crew back with you. American on a 7-0 run, in part because Jeff Strauss now has a season-high 18 points. He's made 6 threes. Is there a way back for American in the last 3:27? And if so, what does it look like?
You just have to continue to get stops. I mean, 11 points is really not that much when you think about it. It's only a 4-possession game. So you just have to buy in on the defensive side. You have to take it one possession at a time defensively. Get the stop, secure the rebound, not allow second chance points or second chance opportunities, and then be very deliberate on the offensive side.
American has the full court press on the pass is tipped and stolen by Mayock. He gets underneath, looking for options. He is fouled in a crowd. And Mount St. Mary's is over the limit. So just 7 seconds after Mount St. Mary's inbounded the ball, American is going to be at the free throw line with Matt Mayock shooting, and that's a recipe for success for the Eagles.
And we talked about it earlier, Nate. Let's not forget, Mount St. Mary's, they've done a good job taking care of the basketball, but who they've been all season, 359th in turnover percentage. They turn the ball over 22% of the time. So them taking care of the basketball is not characteristic of who they truly are. So let's see if down the stretch they convert back to who they've been all season.
Mayock, an 85% foul shooter, gets the first and earns his second in his first trip to the line. American shoots 75.5% as a team, best in the Patriot League. Second free throw is good. The Eagles shooting at just 5 out of 8 at the free throw line in this game. But Mayock gets the 2 to make it a single-digit deficit. Hobbs trying to get it in, beats the 5-second call, finds Keys, who's on the run over the timeline right to left, and gets it to Hobbs with the midcourt logo. Hobbs drives right. Stops at the foul line and backs it out. 3:10 and counting to play in the game. Mount St. Mary's with the ball up 9, but American has scored the last 9 points. A run that has taken not even 2 minutes. Lipscomb far side right in front of his head coach, Donnie Lynn. Drives to the right block. Layup, no. Rebound. Nasadis for American. And the Eagles all of a sudden with life inside 3 minutes. He pulls up for a logo 3. Missed it right. And the rebound to Keys for Mount St. Mary's. Nasadis just a 27% three-point shooter this year. Maybe not the look that American wanted without a pass in the front court.
Not the look at all. Very confident shot. We love the confidence, but not the look you wanted in that moment.
Lipscomb between the rings, bouncing the ball low around his knees for Mount St. Mary's. 2.5 left, up by 9. He starts right, and he's bumped and fouled by Greg Jones. That's the 6th team foul on American. Jones is 3rd. And Dwayne Simpkins collapsed on his back over on the sideline in front of the American bench in frustration at that foul. No free throws for Mount St. Mary's, but the shot clock was down to 7 or 8, and it will reset to 20 after the foul.
I mean, in this moment of the game, 2:29 left, game on the line. I don't know if that's a call that I would have made right there.
A technical foul was called on Dwayne Simpkins for falling down on the sideline. What should have been called against Ron Hunter then when he fell out of his chair? Keys is going to shoot the free throws for Mount St. Mary's. First one up, and it's good off the front rim of the backboard. That's the first point in the last 2.5 minutes. Ron Hunter, of course, was coaching at the time at Georgia State when his son RJ hit that buzzer-beating 3 for the Panthers' first-round upset. That had to have been 8-9 years ago now. Second free throw goes down for Keys.
Wasn't that against Baylor?
Oh, is that disrespectful of me to bring it up? It's Dwayne Simpkins' fault. He's the one who fell down, okay?
I think about that. Like, wait a second. That was against my alma mater. Okay. Appreciate it, Nate.
83-72, Mount St. Mary's leads after Keys gets the 2 technical foul shots, 2:20 to go. So evidently the officials interpreted that Simpkins' collapse to his back as being frustration with the call and not with the foul. Hobbs gets the mid-post left, throws it out to Adebayo. Shot clock running down. He goes into the left corner toward Lipscomb, who had cut to the basket for a rebound. The pass sails behind him out of bounds. It's a Mount St. Mary's turnover. I interpreted when Simpkins went down that he was disappointed that his team had fouled, not necessarily objecting to the decision to call the foul.
I thought it was a mix of both. It was a weak call. I mean, it wasn't the greatest of calls, especially in that moment, but it could have been interpreted either way.
Stevens between the circles for American, gets into the left high post, throws it over the ball, gets it back between the rings. Stevens step back, thought about a 3, finds a curling small, straight down the paint, contested righty layup, no, and the rebound tracked down to the near side, quarter by Keys. Inside 150 to play in regulation. Mount St. Mary's with the ball up 83-72 on American. The Mountaineers have won 2 NCAA tournament games, both here in Dayton. Hobbs dribbles the ball low around his ankles, letting the clock run down. Inside 90 seconds to play. 7 on the timer. He makes his move. To the left wing, a switch on Stevens. Crosses over left with 3. Gets to the block on the left side. He's knocked down. The ball's loose. It's grabbed by a sprawling Sprouse, who throws it to Smalls, who kicked it out of bounds on the far sideline. Sprouse tried to shovel it from his backside to Smalls on the run, but now, after one official called it out of bounds, another comes in and says it's a shot clock violation, and they're going to reset the clock. The shot clock had made it down to 25 seconds.
Out of all the contact we've seen all day that has been called, that was way less than what we just saw.
And the officials decide very late, multiple seconds after the turnover, to give the shot clock violation, which is a break for America. Stevens rejects a high ball screen, works right side of the dribble, and he just lost it. Off his right hand, it's taken by Hobbs, the easiest steal he's had all year. He nearly threw it back to American, but the pass was kicked by Lincoln Ball. And Mount St. Mary's will have to inbound to the backcourt with 1:01 left in the game, leading 83-72. Keys to inbound, near side, left sideline of the backcourt, looking for options. 3-4 seconds, he bounce passes it in. It's broken up by Stevens, nearly stolen by American, but Lipscomb comes out right to left, and he is fouled by Sprouse. He'll shoot free throws. 1-1 coming up for Xavier Lipscomb, who is 4 of 4 at the free throw line of the game, 74% on the year. And barring something cataclysmic for the Mountaineers, they should get their third NCAA tournament win in program history, and American will drop to 0-4 all time in the big dance.
Cataclysmic.
You like that one?
SAT vocabulary right there.
Yeah, I did my flashcards in high school.
I know that wasn't on there.
Lipscomb, the lefty, free throw is up, and it rims around and out. He misses front end. American comes the other way, down by 11. Near side right at Smalls, into the corner, Sprouse. Season high 18 on 6 threes. He rises and fires, misses it short. Rebounded by Lipscomb from Mount St. Mary's, and he is fouled. Tonight's broadcast of the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the NCAA and Westwood One is strictly prohibited. Lipscomb at the foul line for 1-1 again. He and head coach Donnie Lind have a long-standing relationship. Lind first recruited Lipscomb when he was an assistant at Radford. That's where Lipscomb went, but Donnie Lind left to go to UNC Greensboro, so he didn't get to coach him until this year when sort of coach followed player, I guess, instead of the other way around. Lipscomb, a big-time leader on this team. Doesn't score a lot, sort of an all-around guy who does a little bit of everything. 4 of 5 at the line after he missed the front end of the 1-1 moments ago. This one is off the back rim, no good. Rebounded by American. Here they come from left to right. Trailing by 11. Left wing 3 by Smalls. Missed it too strong. Offensive rebound, Michaels. Kick it out. Smalls again. He drives. Foul line floater for the right hand. Rims in and out. And the rebound is knocked out of bounds. Last off Cordelia. So the Eagles will get a third chance on this possession. Lincoln Ball, by the way, fouled out, giving that last foul to send Lipscomb to the line. He was in tears, going to the sideline, embracing Dwayne Simpkins. Great career. And as we say for everyone in this tournament, it's a great season. Rise and fire, left wing 3. No good from Smalls. This time it's rebounded by Keys from Mount St. Mary's. The shot clock is dead. Into the front court, it's Keys. He's dribbling out the clock. The Mountaineer Blue comes to its feet in Dayton. For the third time in program history, the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, under a first-year head coach in Donnie Lind, winning a program record 23rd game, have won in the NCAA tournament. They beat American 83-72, and the Mountaineers move on to face Duke on Friday in Raleigh.
They played well. They dominated on the glass. They took care of the basketball. They knocked down shots. Defensively, they were good. They dominated in the paint, 40-22. Mount St. Mary's did what they were supposed to do, and there's a reason why they got the victory.
First NCAA tournament win in 8 years for Mount St. Mary's, and the third all-time. Beating American 83-72. The Eagles, of course, will be bitterly disappointed to come up short in the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in as many tries. They lose by 11. They got 7 points from Matt Rogers, who was only able to play 8 minutes with an apparent right knee injury, and he is getting hugs from one Mountaineer after another, walking down the American bench, waiting in a line to recognize Matt Rogers and his great season. American will feel if they had gotten 17 points from Matt Rogers instead of 7 in this game, 17 being his season average, they very well might have won it.
He made it. He definitely made a difference. I mean, his presence is just one that you can't replace. It's an irreplaceable presence because of what he means for the team. But without him, it definitely hurt him.
Joining us courtside is J.D. Cordelia of Mount St. Mary's after he tied a career high with 22 points, added 7 rebounds. J.D., let's start with the fact that it's the middle of the night back in the Netherlands right now. If anybody's tuning in on WestwoodOneSports.com and has stayed up into the wee hours of the morning to hear you drop a career high in the NCAA tournament, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, I know my parents and my family is watching, my friends. They're all watching right now, so I know my phone is blowing up right now, so I got to go check that, you know.
You had one of your best games ever. What was the mentality coming into a game like this?
Man, we wanted to just prove everybody wrong out here because, you know, they biased out here, so we just wanted to prove everybody wrong, and that's what we did. So, yeah, happy.
You say they're biased. You guys felt you should have been to the round of 64 and not had to come here to Dayton and play in the first 4. You're going to get a chance to prove that against top-seeded Duke on Friday in North Carolina. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, hey, it's another challenge, you know, so keep your head high. We're going to keep our head high and just keep going.
Looking to go and play against Duke. You know, there's so much hype surrounding them. You have Cooper Flagg, you have Con Knipple, so many guys on that team. How can Mount St. Mary's pull off the upset?
Man, we just got to be locked in and, like, play our ass off. No disrespect, you know. We got to play super hard, man, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to try.
JD, congratulations. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all.
JD Cordelia of Mount St. Mary's as his Mountaineers defeat American 83-72. Final score once again as the boos rain down on the Texas Longhorns, taking the floor for our second game.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, they're playing Xavier just an hour away from the Musketeers campus and the Cintas Center north of Cincinnati. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Longhorns against this crowd. We got to wrap up our first game first, though. Our final score, Mount St. Mary's 83, American 72. When we return, we'll have more of the All-State postgame show. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
After battling through the brackets, one team gets the chance to climb the iconic Warner ladder. The final net cutting is the culmination of all the hard work and effort it took to reach this moment. And getting here puts these players and coaches in rare air. It's the same for all the trade professionals working from 20 feet to 20 stories. Every day they challenge themselves to conquer new heights. And Warner is the brand they trust to have their backs. Warner, the #1 pro ladder and official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Welcome to the Tournament Postgame Show on Westwood One, sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Our final score in the third of 4 games in Dayton over these 2 days to tip off the 2025 NCAA tournament. Mount St. Mary's 83, American 72. Nate Gatter, King McClure back to wrap it up for you and look ahead as well to our final game this year in Dayton. Xavier and Texas will cap us off tonight at UD Arena. But of course our focus has to be first on Mount St. Mary's, and one of the things we didn't talk about because we focused on the interior outstanding play for Mount Mary's, and deservedly so. They dominated American in the paint. They dominated them at the free throw line. One of the things we didn't talk about as much is that three-headed monster, because remember, they're without 2 of their 5 leading scorers because of injury. The other 3 guys, though, stepped up in a huge way. Adebayo, Hobbs, and Cordelia combined for 61 of Mount St. Mary's 83 points. That's a good way to overcome a couple of injuries.
Yeah, they were able to do whatever they wanted to do on the offensive side. I mean, Americans' defense wasn't great. They're not known as a defensive team, but the ease that Mount St. Mary's was able to score the basketball with, the front court, the interior, they were able to do whatever they want and not be able to be stopped. Cordelia, Adebayo dominated in the paint. That's why there was 40-22. The discrepancy that we saw within the paint points is a huge reason as to why Mount St. Mary's was able to get this win.
Obviously, the paint points and the overall scoring margin influenced heavily by the injury absence of Matt Rogers, first-team All-Patriot League selection, who had 17 points to lead American on average this year. He was limited to just 7 points in 8 minutes in this game. Time now to select the player of the game, sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, members save more every day. Join for free today. Lowe's, they help, you save. All right, King, who's your Lowe's player of the game?
Bam Adebayo. Dola Adebayo. The way that young man played tonight was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, his touch around the rim, his activity on the glass. They fed it to him in the high post when they went in 2-3 zone, and he did whatever he wanted to do. I mean, he dominated from start to finish, and he had a spectacular night.
Let's look ahead to our final game coming up this evening. Xavier and Texas here in Dayton. Not even an hour's drive from Cintas Center here to UD Arena. Only about 47 miles. And when Texas took the floor, you heard boos rain down on the Longhorns. Something you very rarely hear at any NCAA tournament game anywhere. What is this challenge going to be like for Texas playing Xavier and the crowd?
When I played at Xavier on the road, and it's not an easy environment. Those people travel. Those people get rowdy. And no doubt tonight, Texas is on the road. This is a true road game for UT. But if you like buckets, this is the game you should listen to. Because Trey Johnson versus Conwell, those 2 young men, their ability to be able to score from behind the arc and fill up and heat up for 30-plus at any given moment, any given game, is something that we have to keep our eye on. And this is going to be probably the best matchup of the first 4.
Our first game this evening, 83-72, Mount St. Mary's over American. Last thought on the Mountaineers. Obviously, a gargantuan challenge awaiting them on Friday afternoon in Raleigh against top-seeded Duke, where the crowd will be even more biased against them than it is here in Dayton against Texas. What, if anything, can Mount St. Mary's do to keep it close against the Blue Devils and give themselves a chance to pull the upset?
We're going to have to make shots. They're going to have to make shots for number one. They're going to have to be able to put pressure on the defense of Duke. Duke is the tallest team in the country, and they played nobody under 6'6", and their ability to switch 1 through 5 and their length that they put on the perimeter, makes it extremely tough. But you can hope the small guards, get around some of the bigger guards of Duke, and they can put pressure by getting into the paint. But other than that, that and pray, and you wish for the best.
Make sure they're on good terms with the man upstairs, huh?
100%.
Our final score, Mount St. Mary's 83, American 72. Right now, let's head back to Jason Horowitz in the Westwood One Broadcast Center.
Oh, come on. They've got FDU to rely on 2 years ago. They've got UMBC to rely on from 7 years ago. It has happened before. And very recently. And, of course, FDU went from Dayton and then went on to beat Purdue in 2023. We'll get to that on Friday when they will take on Duke in Raleigh. By the way, Mount St. Mary's will be playing in the same window as St. Mary's will be playing Vanderbilt. That'll be fun. All right, we'll relive this ball game, plus get you ready for Texas and Xavier. It's coming up next. You're listening to the men's basketball tournament on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
Oh, 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 O'Reilly.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Without maintenance teams behind the scenes, everything stops. Even the game. Lights, broadcast equipment, cooling. You ensure the assets that matter most work. MaintainX was built for professionals like you. A modern maintenance app that helps manage work orders, schedule maintenance, and track inventory. So keep the madness on the court, not in your operations. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com/MVP. That's maintain in the letter X.com/MVP.
So, you want to buy a house. You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more this doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rash? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, your home for the national championships.
Yo, it's Jacob Hester from Off Campus on College Sports Radio. For full breakdowns of this game and more, tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Channel 84 or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
All right, along with Nick Bod, Jason Horowitz back with you here in our Straight Talk Wireless studios in Los Angeles. Need more data so you can stream your jam mix on loop? Switch to Straight Talk. Get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Nick's take on this ballgame, but first let's relive Mount St. Mary's 83-72 win over American. It happened less than 3 minutes in. Matt Rogers, one of the stars from the Patriot League, all-conference, went down with a knee injury, tried to fight it off once, came back in a second time, and it just wasn't going to work, and Mount St. Mary's was going.
Adebayo dribbles to the right corner. He's in trouble. Ball harassing him. He throws it to Cordelia on the right wing with 6 to shoot. Cordelia drives, spins on Rogers, lays it up and in. It's a 10-point, making an 8-point lead for Mount St. Mary's, and Rogers took a hit to that right knee and went down very awkwardly, and he is in real pain now, lying in the lane.
Yeah, they had to stop the game. He would be ruled out the rest of the game. Matt Rogers, their best player, played just 8 minutes. He did have 7 points because the offense was unbelievable before he got hurt. Back and forth the first 3.5 minutes of this ball game. But from that point, Mount St. Mary's controlled the rest of the first half.
Hobbs on the midcourt logo with 5. Works to the right slot. Crosses over on Sprouse. 3. Good! Dallas Hobbs put both hands over his head. He untucks his jersey. He stares into the crowd. Dallas Hobbs, ever the showman. In his first March Madness game, he gives Mount St. Mary's its largest lead of the night. 48-38 going into the half with a 3-pointer to beat the buzzer.
So he had 15 in the half, 4 made threes. Cordelia had 16 in the half on the inside on 8 of 9 shooting. Second half, they were getting whatever they wanted, including the Wrangler highlight of the game.
9:40 to go in the game, and the Mountaineers are stretching it out. Irvin on the right wing, gets it up Adebayo, dashes to the roof, big two-hand stop. Dova Adebayo in the second half is dominating. 10 of his 18 points since the break, and Mount St. Mary's takes a 68-51 lead with 9:34 to go in the second half, closing in on their third NCAA tournament win in program history.
And it's the highlight of the game, sponsored by Wrangler. Here's to the early risers, the go-getters. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Wrangler for the ride of life. We are riding this tournament all the way to San Antonio. We are 3 games in, Nick Bod, of 67. And a pretty impressive performance for Mount St. Mary's. We'll get to Duke later in the week, but 58% from the floor in this win.
Yeah, and to me, the number that I look at was they were 70% from 2-point range, 21 of 30 from 2. So their ability to get easy baskets, and certainly no Matt Rogers, it makes a huge impact. I mean, you almost got to preface everything in this game with American's best player goes down, and not only is he their leading scorer, the usage for him is incredibly high. The rest of American's team is kind of a roster of role players, and all of a sudden they were having to manufacture shots themselves. Even though they made 13 threes, it just was going to be an uphill battle.
And they were still in it. It was a 5-point game until that 12-0 run that was capped by that dunk we just played. I mean, they were still in the ball game.
Yeah, the whole name of the game in these sort of situations is to try to put game pressure on your opponent when it gets to under for media timeout, because you start to play not to lose instead of staying aggressive. And that was what Mount St. Mary's did a good job throughout the whole game. They had their foot on the gas and played with such confidence. 4 players in double figures. They had 17 team assists. I mentioned during the game, this is a team in Mount St. Mary's that came into tonight 359th in the country in turnover percentage. To put that in perspective, there are only 5 Division I college basketball teams that turn the ball over more from a percentage standpoint than Mount St. Mary's. They did a much better job of just taking care of the ball. I think you can see it when this team doesn't turn the ball over. They got some capable guys of making shots, whether it's Adebayo or Hobbs. And Cordelia was terrific. 10 of 11 from the floor. He just dominated inside.
Yeah, and afterwards here with us on Westwood One said it's time to go after Duke. All right, we checked the tournament summary. Sponsored by Marriott Bonvoy. Take your game day rituals on the road with Marriott Bonvoy. Over 30 hotel brands for every kind of fan. Explore more at MarriottBonvoy.com/NCAA. Now, Mount St. Mary's no longer in the same conference they used to be. They are in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. They get the win for that conference. It is their 3rd win in school history, but all of them have come in Dayton in the first 4. But hey, listen, the conference will take it. The school will take it. Every part of it.
Absolutely. And now you get a date with the bluest of blue bloods in college basketball, and with, other than Janai Broom, the face of college basketball this season in Cooper Flagg. So this is what it's all about. I mean, they have to be so darn excited in that locker room, not only that they just won an NCAA tournament game, but now you get a chance to go toe-to-toe with Duke. And if you're a player on Mount St. Mary's team, you couldn't ask for anything more in the NCAA tournament.
No question. This has been the All-State Tournament postgame show on Westwood One. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. 83-72 Mount St. Mary's over American. Texas and Xavier coming up next. They'll tip it off in 14 minutes from the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network. This is the men's basketball tournament.
Did you know? VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served.
I would tell anybody who is interested in getting a VA loan to just do it.
For me, the best thing about the VA loan was the simplicity.